With us making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
Oh, we can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
I think one of the things that patients don't realize is that when they get a joint replacement, that's not a lifetime treatment option. And they're probably, if they are a younger patient, signing up for multiple surgeries down the road.
As a physician and medical director for QC Kinetics, Dr. Caravelli's seen a pattern of trending joint pain. Prolonged medication, steroids, then surgery, possibly another surgery.
So a lot of our patients are trying to avoid or put off surgery, and this is the treatment that can help them do that.
QC Kinetics extracts your body's healing substances, concentrates them back into your aching joints to help heal and restore those areas, providing lasting relief.
Oh, I love being able to tell my patients, before we do this surgery, let's try another option. Let's see if this is right for you, because now they might not have to have surgery at all.
Call today for your free consultation.
Bingo. All right, Bill, we're recording now. And please put your phone on silent.
Oh, where is my phone?
Let's go, man.
Okay.
Get it together over there, player. Go ahead. Pick on me the way that you want to.
I wouldn't say that to my son.
Just go.
All right, why would people want to listen to the Sims Complete podcast?
Father-son dynamic duo talking about the game of football.
We do a lot of quarterback and coach talks. It's fun. I love doing this. It's been awesome.
Sims Complete. Check us out on the Believe Network. Appreciate it.
Just search Believe, BLEAV, wherever you listen.
Hey, what you reading, Marty?
Just about the sheriff's race. I like Heather Lappin. She has served nearly 20 years in the sheriff's department and will decrease crime by increasing patrols.
I know Heather. She was on the news fighting for reform.
Yeah, Heather Lappin is endorsed by nearly every local law enforcement group.
What about her opponent?
Chris Nanos' office was investigated regarding a sexual assault case, also the misuse of funds.
Nanos sounds like bad news. I'm voting for Heather Lappin for sheriff.
Political ad paid for by Heather Lappin for sheriff. Authorized by Heather Lappin.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babbel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes, and soon you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Hey, good morning. You're heading to the airport, right?
Yep, thanks for checking. I like the car. How long have you been a rideshare driver?
About 3 years now. I really enjoy it.
Isn't it hard to make money these days with the price of gas being so high?
Not for me. I use Upside, the free app that gives you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute. Are you saying you actually get real money back when you get gas with the Upside app?
Yep, I get real cash back every time I get gas.
Does that actually add up to anything?
I'll make around $200 to $300.
Wow, that's serious extra cash. I'm downloading the Upside app now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SCORE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime, right to your bank account, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SCORE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SCORE.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. So, my man was not exactly spitting, quote, straight fire from the podium, but Mike Tomlin did get some heads turning around the NFL yesterday when he announced that Russell Wilson will get the Steelers' first team reps this week in practice and is in line to make his debut as a starter on Sunday night. Now, that kind of surprised me. Listen, I'm not saying that Justin Fields came out with a blowtorch and a gas can and set the entire world on fire. What I am saying is this guy is 4-2, and he's not just... and Zach Moss. So why is Mike Tomlin thinking about benching him and going with Russ Wilson?
O'Reilly! Extend the life of your engine with a full synthetic oil change and save at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, pick up 5 quarts of O'Reilly full synthetic motor oil and a MicroGuard oil filter for $29.99. Or upgrade to a MicroGuard Select filter for just $2 more. Limit supply. Offer in-store only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you know that Wendy's has any size soft drinks for just $1? Yeah, any size, anytime. Like $1 Coke, $1 Sprite, or even $1 strawberry Fanta. Okay, could we maybe switch up the sound effect, please? 'Cause I'm losing it. Wow, no, not that. Any size soft drink for just $1? Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. A la carte only. Not valid in a combo. Exclusions apply.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. We're coming to you live from the Tucson Convention Center. It is the Roadrunners Gala tonight out here. The start to the hockey season here. Fans can come out and meet the team. First game coming up Friday night. A busy sports weekend here in southern Arizona. A mega sports weekend, as I like to call it, on the Arizona Wildcats side, with volleyball at home tonight and Friday. Soccer also home this weekend, Thursday and Sunday, and the big football game homecoming on Saturday. And let's let's chat right now, I should say, with one of the new associate athletic directors at the University of Arizona, Tony Daniel. He has come over to our side of the world alongside of the new leader, Desiree Reed-Francois. Worked with her at Missouri. And Tony, welcome. How is Tucson treating you so far?
Great. And it's we've had quite a few mega sports weekends over our way since coming to Tucson, so it's been great.
All right, so what have you learned then? What have you learned about how to manage all these weekends when you've got all these events?
You know, we look at it as a cool opportunity to see our fans, and you love these weekends. That's why we do what we do. We love being a part of athletics and supporting our student athletes and our fans. So, we look at it as a great opportunity, and it's a lot of fun. We cherish these weekends because they're few and far between for us. And now as we're getting into crossover season with basketball, even more on the horizon, some more mega sports weeks and weekends. So we're excited.
We mentioned that you're one of several lieutenants for Desiree that came over from Missouri. Nikki Berry also joining you guys here. What was it about that team that you guys had put together there, and the things you were doing at Missouri that you guys wanted to stay together and try to recreate that dynamic here in Tucson?
Yeah, truly, I think it starts with our leader, Desiree Reed-Francois. She's a transformational leader. Someone that we loved working with at our last stop, and I tell everybody all the time I'd follow her anywhere. She's a phenomenal leader. She's a phenomenal athletic director, but more importantly, she's a phenomenal person, and has been great to my family and all of our families all the folks that have followed her here. So Arizona is a great place, and was kind of a cherry on top coming home. My wife's from the Phoenix area, so a good little homecoming for us. But like I said, I'd follow Desiree anywhere, and the things that she's was able to do at Missouri and that we're looking forward to continuing here. Like I said, would be an honor to do that, and that's why many of us have made the trip out here to Tucson.
Tony Daniel is joining us. His official title is Senior Associate Athletic Director, Revenue Generation and Engagement. I've heard you described, Tony, as a marketing maestro. What makes you so good at what you do in this space?
Oh man, that's the first that I've heard. I think so. I played college sports at the University of Buffalo, kind of got my start there, went down to Ole Miss for grad school, and my first full-time job in college athletics, spent 6 years at Missouri, and then now here to Arizona. I think, we're not curing cancer. We're not doing any rocket science here. We're just here to have fun, and we're here to make the experience the best it can be for our fans. So I don't know about a marketing maestro, but I think that's always our goal and what we look forward to the most. And people are stepping into our buildings and into our facilities, sometimes for the 1,000th time. And what always keeps me going is somebody is always stepping into our building for the first time. So that's what I always try to remember. And how can we make this experience the most memorable as possible for that person, no matter which time it is for them inside of our facility. So I think that's the outlook that our team has and that I've always tried to have. And as growing up, as a student athlete, you got to see that side of the world, and now seeing it from this side is just as fun and just as exciting. And I had so many great mentors leading me through. That's kind of where my mindset comes from. You mentioned, obviously, that you played college football at the University of Buffalo. You were a quarterback there for the Bulls. Were there things does it go back that far for you? Were there things that as a student athlete that you would come across or see and you would say, man, if I was sitting in that chair in the big office, I would do it this way? I don't know about that. I know I would get in trouble. The coaches would be like, hey, stop looking at the video board or stop looking at what the students are doing. So, I knew at that point, I was like, what? I think I really want to get into this marketing thing and into college athletics on the administration side. And when I wasn't playing, I was, at basketball games in the front of the student section, leading the chants and cheers or putting out the T-shirts early or whatever, marketing. I was running the social media account for our football team as I was playing back in a different day and age when Twitter and Instagram were kind of just coming on the scene. So, all that stuff kind of led me to where we are now and just my love for what we do and how we support, again, our student athletes and our fans and our donors. It, just makes it a lot of fun and all those experiences have built into where we are now. Pleased to be joined by Tony Daniel, Associate Athletics Director of Revenue Generation, Fan Engagement at the University of Arizona. Homecoming Saturday coming up. The Colorado Buffaloes are going to be in town. The game is sold out. So I guess when we say sold out, how many people are you actually expecting to be there this weekend? We're expecting all of them to be there. It's 50,800 screaming Wildcat fans, all wearing red. So we're looking forward to a great crowd and 1 p.m. kickoff. I think last time I looked at my phone, it was 75 degree was going to be the high right at 1-2 o'clock. So looking forward to a beautiful day in Tucson and all the Wildcat fans out tailgating early. We need it. Our team needs it. They've had a couple tough road games. And, when you go on the road in this conference, it's a raucous environment, and we're hoping for a lot of the same here in Tucson on Saturday. You mentioned it'll be a red-out this Saturday for homecoming. This will be the 4th home game of the season. So what have you guys learned in these first 3 home games, and how quickly do you try to make changes to try to, enhance the fan engagement? And what are some of the things that you guys want to do that you're starting to put in place that fans might really notice come next season at Arizona Stadium, or even maybe notice when we get to McHale Center here shortly? Yeah. I think the first thing that drew me in and that we've noticed big time is our student participation. We've been selling out our student allotment faster than we ever have. This week it went in 1 hour,
Wow.
So all 5,500 of our student tickets were claimed in an hour. So great participation from them, and they are leading the charge and leading our crowd participation at our football games, and looking for more of the same, across all of our sports. So that's first. And then I think you kind of hit on that on our surveys. We dive into those immediately first thing Monday morning. And we listen, and we're not fixing everything, overnight per se, but those things we're taking into consideration, and things like the sound. We know that's a heavy issue with our fans and with us here internally. That's not something that we're able to do overnight, but we're taking steps to try to incrementally improve that week over week. And then a long-term play will be to have that system fully renovated. So again, if those out there listening that are coming to games and are submitting surveys or thinking about submitting surveys, we listen to that stuff, and we want you to participate in those, because that is something that we heavily consider and take into consideration each week, starting on Monday after the Saturday home game.
Obviously, the athletic department, the university as a whole, is dealing with a little bit of a financial crunch. When you guys come in, how do you immediately look at the capital project side of it? What needs to be done? How soon we can maybe start getting some of those things done? Is that a priority right away, or is that something that's like we need to take care of some other things first before we dive into what the future of this athletic department is going to look like from the facility side?
Yeah, as you know, college athletics is changing by the day and by the minute. So our approach is student athlete focused. It's student athletes first. What are their needs? What things elevate their experience, and that's first and foremost for us. But from there, we look at each thing as it comes in, and to your point, it could be a capital project, could be something in one of our stadiums and the like. But again, the student athletes and what elevates their experience is first and foremost on our docket, and that's kind of how we tier it out from there.
Chatting with Tony Daniel, Associate Athletics Director at the University of Arizona, first year in the department. Is there anything, Tony, that you've seen so far that I guess kind of a wow moment for you in terms of the University of Arizona, whether it was maybe the Red Blue game or the Wildcat Walk or something like that you hadn't maybe seen at a school before that really jumped out at you?
Yeah, the first place my head went was to the Red Blue game, having nearly 14,000 people at a basketball scrimmage against ourselves. I know a long-standing tradition here in Tucson, but that's incredible for the support for that. And we can't wait to watch our men's and women's programs take the floor here starting next week with men's basketball on Monday. Excited to get those sports up and rolling, and can't wait to see Tucson show out for that, and our students to show out for men's and women's basketball as they tip off on Monday.
What are some of the other things that you guys want to let folks know about this exciting weekend with a number of events that are happening?
Yeah. Well, yeah, like you mentioned, got a full week. So starting tonight with volleyball at home versus Colorado. Soccer takes on Kansas tomorrow at home. And then Friday starts our full weekend. You got volleyball at home, baseball and softball playing fall ball. And then we got Bear Down Friday and our homecoming pep rally and bonfire. So all that's taking place on Friday. And then, of course, highlighted by Arizona versus Colorado on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Be excited to see everybody out in red. And then wrapping up the Sunday slate with soccer at home versus Kansas State. And then I mentioned our Monday with men's basketball being there and kind of the tip-off to the season and an exhibition. So, yeah, like you said, super weekend. Excited to see all of our fans out at each of our home events. And we've got, another point I think to make there, too, that I failed to mention was we've got a ton of letter winners coming back this weekend for the homecoming game. 500 in total. 250 football letter winners, and Khalil Tate is our honorary captain on Saturday. So excited to see all of our football letter winners coming back to the homecoming game, but all 500 in total coming back to celebrate and support our football team. So I'm really excited about the weekend.
That is awesome. 500 athletic alums will be back on campus where they once wore the Cardinal and the Navy and represented this university so well. Tony, welcome to Tucson. Glad to have you. Looking forward to great things from this administration as we move forward here into the rest of this decade.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you for having me, and appreciate you having me on, David, and we look forward to seeing everybody this week.
All right, bear down. Tony Daniel, the Associate Athletics Director at the University of Arizona, former college quarterback at the University of Buffalo for the Bulls, and has made the trek over from Missouri, where he teamed with Desiree Reed-Francois and others there to help bump up that athletics department in the Southeastern Conference. All right, much more straight ahead. We're going to talk some Arizona soccer. You heard Tony mention we've got a home game there coming up this weekend, and a couple of home games there coming up for soccer this weekend. So we'll talk about that with Nicole Dowling. Straight ahead. Cricket getting you home, though, every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some backups on westbound Ajo approaching Mission. Collisions reported crash at Silverbell and Sunset. Sunset and Silverbell. Also a wreck at 6th and Congress and 6th Avenue. And I-10 eastbound and westbound I-10 closed between Riggs Road and Casablanca. And for your weather, we're looking at our highs near about 90 for tomorrow, 89, 90 tomorrow, sunny. Friday, windy, 80 and a 20% chance of rain, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to O'Reilly Chevrolet and test drive a new EV, and then I'll receive 2 tickets to Terror in the Corn. And this year, those zombies are not going to win at paintball.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Join David Kelly for Bear Down Fridays this Friday at Illegal Pete's on University from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. as we get ready for the Wildcats to take on Colorado at Arizona Stadium this Saturday. Sponsored by Corona for fans of the fine life, an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks VapoStick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks vapors in an easy-to-apply stick. And it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks VapoStick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And when you need more comfort for yourself, try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks vapors.
Use as directed. VapoStick for use ages 4 and up. Vapo Shower Max use for adults only.
When you're hiring, ZipRecruiter's technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. What if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm Kamala Harris, candidate for president, and I approve this message. So many of you have told me about your plans for the future. Starting a business, buying a home, retiring near your grandchildren. But prices are too high. So let me tell you what I will do about it as president. I will take on price gouging. I will lower the cost of healthcare insurance. We cap the cost of insulin at $35 a month for seniors. I'm running to do that for everyone. And I will provide new down payment assistance to first-time home buyers and tax benefits to people who want to start their own business. Donald Trump, well, he wants to give more tax breaks to the wealthy, whereas I will cut taxes for the middle class instead. Because I know working people want to do more than just get by. You want to get ahead, and that's the future you deserve. And that is what I will focus on every day as your president. Paid for by Harris for President.
This is Jim Rome with a Sports Minute. Hey, Jerry, I do have a question. 30-year-old Amari Cooper just got flipped by the Browns 2.5 years later for a third rounder. That happened yesterday while you were busy finally snapping. And now everybody knows it, but I'm sure nobody's allowed to ask about that either unless they're, quote, real fans or real football people. I'm Jim Rome. All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this. If something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Are you the parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the Parents' Choice Award-winning online learning program that's actually changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it free for a month, but you have to go to abcmouse.com/radio to claim your free month. That's abcmouse.com/radio.
Sponsored by Age of Learning.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Appreciate Tony Daniel from Arizona Athletics for joining us on the program. Again, a mega sports weekend coming up here for the Wildcats. It starts tonight. Arizona volleyball will be at home against Colorado, and then Arizona soccer will be next up tomorrow, as they've got a huge weekend themselves coming up. The final 2 soccer home games of the season. It just goes by so quickly. And the ladies will be welcoming in the Kansas schools, starting with Kansas on a Thursday night at Mulcahy Stadium, 7 o'clock. We're pleased to be joined by one of the senior captains for your Arizona Wildcat. We have talked to her before. Nicole Dallin joins us. And Nicole, where did this season go? It's like almost over.
I know, and every season it's like that. You blink and it's over. But we've just been trying to soak it all up as much as we can.
Final home weekend. Have you? I mean, where are you at mentally and emotionally with this final weekend coming up at Mulcahy?
It's an emotional week for sure. Especially the seniors. I don't think that we all realized how quick it was going to come to an end. But I think most of us are just grateful for the experience that we've had here. And we're hoping to just close it out with a bang and 2 wins.
And obviously a difficult loss over the weekend in Houston, a team that had not won in conference, and you go down there hoping to come back with 6 points. Kind of walk us through what happened Sunday and why the Cougars were able to come out on top in that one.
I mean, Houston's a great team. I think something we've learned this season is that there's not going to be any bad Big 12 soccer programs. And although that they hadn't won any games, they're a great soccer team. The way they play is similar to us. We had a hard time finding the back of the net. I know I had a couple missed opportunities that I'm kicking myself for now. But they're a great program, and they just got the luck that day. And, yeah, that's how soccer goes.
When you miss an opportunity, I guess how quickly do you go back and say, well, I could have done this, I could have done that. Maybe if I'd have taken a different angle, the shot looks better? How do you break down for yourself those missed opportunities to try to maybe better capitalize if you get a similar situation in the future?
For me, it's right after the game. I mean, I remember every missed opportunity, probably more than all of my made opportunities. But for me, I watch the game as soon as possible, and I kind of just rewatch each missed opportunity and see where I went wrong. But also, that's just the name of soccer, and you're not always going to be 100%. So just making sure that I'm correcting the mistakes that I do make and helping the team out a little more and putting the ball in the back of the net.
And and it's interesting because soccer is obviously played on such an expansive field. Do you ever? I mean, you've obviously been playing this game all your life, and I think it's different than a lot of sports where you have specific set plays that you run and that kind of thing, and you can almost you might have a play the 1 week in football that you might have the next week, or similar in basketball. Have you come across a lot of situations in soccer where you can recreate? I've had that opportunity. I've had that ball in this same location before, and here's what I did. Does that happen much in soccer?
The same location, yes, but no one play is going to be similar to the next, and you can't really make each play identical, especially with different teams that you play. But definitely spots in the box that you're at, you got to make sure that you capitalize on where you're at in the box. That's just something I've been trying to focus on this season, is those high percentage goal opportunity spots in the box. But yeah.
Chatting with Nicole Dallin. She is a graduate student now at the University of Arizona. Final season. First season for her was back in 2020, and one of the leading, if not the leading scorer currently on the Wildcats, 7 goals on the season. And you went through that, obviously, that long stretch, Nicole, without a goal. What was that like for you? Because things got off to such a great start. You had 5 goals in the first 2 games. After that Pacific game, do you let yourself even think, man, this is starting to get easy for me? How do you keep yourself out of that mindset?
Never, actually. That definitely took me by surprise. I think the opportunities that I did have in that game were ones that definitely should not have gone out of the goal. So, but going so many games not scoring goal, it's definitely hard, especially soccer. Each position has a job, and sometimes if you don't complete that job, you feel a little bit like a failure. But I've kind of just clinged to my faith and to my family, who lets me know, like, you're never going to be 100% perfect every time. And each game is different, so I kind of give myself grace to not be perfect, and yeah.
What was it like when you finally got back on the board against West Virginia? Did you feel like a weight was lifted off your shoulders with that goal there? That obviously you guys got a draw against a ranked team in that particular ballgame.
I think right after that goal, Gianna had run up to me, and I was like, hallelujah, finally. Especially since it hadn't come with lack of shooting. It was just what was happening for me. And I knew after the Pacific game I was going to be a highlight for teams to mark. But I definitely didn't consider how much that marking would affect me. But that's just been a lesson I've learned. And going forward and wherever soccer takes me, I'm excited that I have that in the back of my pocket. And I know that I just need to take opportunities when I have them.
Speaking of Gianna Christensen, big award for her, co-offensive player of the week this past week for her performances on the road down there in Houston. Just kind of what's she like? What is Gianna like as a teammate and as a sister out there on the soccer field?
As a teammate, she's, I guess, diehard is the word I would use. She's definitely a soccer player through and through. Her attitude is always great. She's always doing what she can for the team, and it's never about her. It's always about what the team needs and how she can help the team win. And something that her and I have kind of discussed is it doesn't really matter who's scoring the goal as long as somebody's scoring. And it's been really great to watch her grow and be with her the last 4 years, and I'm proud of her.
Obviously, you guys, with that loss in Houston, the RPI dropped just a little bit. I think you guys are sitting around 47 right now. Did you have an idea where you think you guys need to be in order to get a bid to the NCAA tournament? And do you feel like you've got to win these next 3 games in order to solidify that?
We definitely aren't taking anything for sure. We're going to go into each game, especially that ASU game, looking for the win. But the team knows, especially after this weekend, that nothing's going to be given. That RPI, it's always a scary place to be. You can be bumped or pushed up no matter what result. So I think that the team is just focused on not feeling that loss too much and knowing that we're still a great soccer team and sometimes we just don't get the win, but we're going to do everything we can to get them this weekend and ASU.
And we are not very familiar with a conference soccer tournament in these parts. What do you think that's going to be like, and how are you guys? Because again, you have 3 regular season games, but then you've got this conference tournament situation. How do you approach that? How do you look at that? And is that something that the girls are really looking forward to?
We're definitely all looking forward to it. That was something we had been asking for the Pac-12 to do for a long time. It just kind of gives teams an extra chance to prove that they're the best in their conference, so we're ready to take that on. And I think with it being such a long trip, I think it's going to come down to the teams that are able to recover and recoup after each game. They're quick turnarounds, so we're all good teams. We can all play good soccer. But the teams that are going to be able to focus in on such quick turnarounds, I think that will be the most success that we'll have.
Yeah, the tournament will run a little bit over a week, Wednesday, October the 30th through Saturday, November the 9th. Has there been maybe one thing about the Big 12 in the competition with the teams you've played thus far that's kind of stood out to you?
I think definitely the athleticism compared to the Pac-12, having been my 4-year experience. The athleticism is definitely at a higher level. The soccer is about the same. There's no real change in my opinion in that. I personally think we play the prettiest soccer in all of the Big 12. I'm of course biased, but I'd say the athleticism has been the biggest change for us.
All right, tell me what categorizes the prettiest soccer in the Big 12.
Just teams who can connect, who have a game plan and are able to execute it the best they can each game. No kickball, in my opinion. Yeah.
And I think I heard one of your teammates say, "What you guys do? Is it the Cupid Shuffle before every game now? Is that the thing? The dance?"
Oh yeah, that's been a popular hit. I'm someone who kind of just sits in the background and watches everybody else kind of get hype. I don't really need to get up in people's faces, but they've kind of pulled that out of me, and it's been fun. It's been a shift in the locker room that I don't think we've had in the past. Is that we're in this together, let's get hyped together, let's just do it all together. So it's been really great to see.
And you're from Northern California, correct? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Southern.
Oh, you're from Southern California. What are you hearing right now in terms of because one of the big questions we were asking last year is what the dynamics going to be now for Arizona and recruiting in terms of not being in the West Coast Conference anymore, in terms of the Pac-12 and the LA schools and in the Bay Area schools. What do you, in terms of, I don't know if you deal with a lot of recruits or you host when they come in, what are you hearing from the California kids about how they're looking at this whole situation now? Knowing that, if I go to Arizona, I used to get to come back to Southern California for a trip every year. Now that's not there. Are you hearing anything from recruits about that whole thing?
Not too much from Arizona recruits. My little sister plays soccer, so I hear a lot from her teammates. But I think most serious soccer recruits are just looking to play at the highest level. And whether or not that means being home, I don't think that's really a factor for a lot of serious college soccer players. Just being wherever you can to play the best soccer and have the best competition. But yeah.
All right. Any of those 3 sisters, we're going to see them in an Arizona uniform?
My little sister, we'll see.
We'll see. Still working on that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe big sister can kind of throw her some NIL once she graduates and gets a really cool job, right?
Maybe we'll see.
Nicole, hey, appreciate you taking some time. Appreciate having the opportunity to talk to you a number of times over the course of the last few years. And we look forward to these final 3 games and the Big 12 tournament and what the rest of this season has to hold.
Perfect.
Thank you, Nicole Dallin, senior graduate student at the University of Arizona, playing in her 4th season. Now, 5th season, actually. 4th, really. She did not play her first year here in 2020, but 22 goals in her 4 competitive seasons, 1 as a redshirt freshman, 5 as a redshirt sophomore, 9 last season as a redshirt junior, and then as a graduate senior this year, she has 7 goals, so 22 goals in her career at the University of Arizona. That has come in 65 games, of which she has started 49. It is DK on the Sports Tip. We're coming to you from Tucson Convention Center. The Roadrunners Gala is happening here a little bit later tonight. Tickets are still available for that. Come on over here. You can see the team, meet the fellas. Head coach Steve Pontfant, general manager, team president Bob Hoffman, new broadcaster Jonathan Schaefer, all going to be here. There'll be a lot of fun things happening, raffles and everything else. I'm sure Dusty will be here with his shenanigans as he always is. So get on out here, get a ticket, and enjoy this fun night of really kicking off the hockey season here in Southern Arizona. Right now, we're going to send it back to the studio. Dragon Ball's got your sports update, everything that is happening in the world. Game 3 of the National League Championship Series is going on tonight. Dragon Ball, take it away.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, injuries are a major concern right now for the Wildcats defensive backfield as they prepare for Colorado. Defensive coordinator Dwayne Akina says the team is still figuring out who they will and won't have in that game, but he isn't focused on the depth chart that he has playing for him.
Yeah, I'm not sure. We're still working to see who we got, and whoever can go, we will play. One of the things is when you start getting to backup players, because in today's stage of practicing, it's not quite like back in the day. Nobody cared about legs or how many hours you can work in a given week. Now, what can your backups execute, in these shorter work weekends? So that's all part of the coaching aspect when you start losing some guys, and start plugging in who can play where. Because I've always been built, I think you've heard me say it before, I'm not tied into a depth chart. I'm tied into the next best player.
Well, the next best players will go have their hands full. Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horner are both set to play against Arizona, so Dwayne Akina's squad will need to go ahead and watch out for those 2 wideouts. Good news for the Suns. The regular season approaches, and center Yusuf Nurkic is expected to go and make his preseason debut this week against the Lakers on Thursday. Nurkic has been the one starter not to see preseason action so far as they prepare for the Clippers on October 23rd. It didn't take long for the NCAA to finally put down the ban hammer on something. The NCAA has officially listed that when teams use a 12-man penalty on defense in the final 2 minutes, the offensive team will be able to take the 5 yards and reset the clock back to the time where the play was snapped. So Ohio State, they would be able to get to play with 10 seconds left rather than 6 in their loss against Oregon that they had this last weekend. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 sports update here on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported, Keno and 22nd Street and Keno Parkway on the overpass. Also 6th and Congress and 6th Avenue. I-10 is closed between Riggs Road and State Route 387 due to an earlier serious collision. 89 and sunny tomorrow. On Friday, windy. 80 is the high and a 20% chance of rain, and 95 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Tune into Wildcats Radio 1290 weekly for Brett Brennan's football press conference, where you can catch up on all things Arizona football this season. Sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Wildcats Radio 1290 is proud to support your Arizona Wildcat football team as they continue their season with another home game this Saturday at Arizona Stadium.
This week, your Wildcats take on Colorado. Kickoff is scheduled for 1 p.m.
To get your tickets, visit ArizonaWildcats.com or call 621-CATS. For more University of Arizona Wildcat football, including a complete schedule and link to buy tickets online, log on to WildcatsRadio1290.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor that summer could finally be coming to an end, a big relief for us. But your car is probably still feeling the effects of the brutal summer heat. So now's the perfect time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a complimentary check of your brakes, batteries, coolant levels, and wiper blades. Those are just a few of the things to help keep your car road trip ready. And when those cooler overnight temperatures finally do arrive, some of you will see your low pressure warning light come on. But don't worry, you can stop by anytime for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if your tire sensor really is a problem, we can fix that too. Mention this ad and get free installation and tire rebalancing with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. Visit jackfurriers.com for even more specials. And for fast, friendly service, you can make an appointment online, call ahead, or just drive up and find out why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Your home for in-depth conversation.
Nothing they do is by surprise. They telegraph what they want to do, and then they brag about it afterwards. It's a way to keep us at each other's throats.
The most pressing issues.
This was just a white-on-black crime, and you can already see the narrative starting to form in real time.
And fresh perspective.
The air marshals will not be on the airplanes because they're down at the border escorting illegal aliens to their Ubers.
America's most loved truth tellers live on Tucson's home for conservative talk. This is Freedom 1400.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are Tucson's home for Arizona Wildcats football. From fall camp to the Territorial Cup, we bring you all the action of Arizona football. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Mount Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Coming to you live from the Tucson Convention Center. It's the Roadrunners Gala tonight here, celebrating hockey in southern Arizona. Come on out and experience all the fun. The festivities get underway around 6 o'clock tonight, just as we'll be getting off the air. Everything will be starting here. 4 games in the NHL tonight. The Buffalo Sabres will take on the Pittsburgh Penguins. We've got the Kings from Los Angeles and Toronto tonight. Boston is on the road to Colorado. And the parent Utah Hockey Club will be in Anaheim taking on the Ducks. So far, through the early part of this schedule, right now, you've got the Florida Panthers, the defending champions, with the most points in the Atlantic at 6. The New Jersey Devils off to a 4-2 start, including a win over Utah. They've got 8 points. The Dallas Stars have not lost yet. They're 4-0. They've got 8 points and lead the Central. That's the division the Utah Hockey Club is in. So with the 3-1 record right now for the Utah Hockey Club, they are in a 3-way tie for second place with Winnipeg and Minnesota, all with 6 points on the season. And then in the Pacific right now, Calgary is off to a 4-0 start. They've got 8 points, and they are 2 points ahead of the Vegas Golden Knights, a perennial power of late in the Western Conference. They are 3-1.
I did check, and the Coyotes started 2-2 last year, so the Utah Hockey Club is way ahead of way ahead of where they were last year.
All right,
way ahead in comparison, especially with the scoring. To be fair, I mean the scoring is way up for Utah compared to where it was for the Coyotes.
The dumb thing about this is DK's talked a lot. This team is mostly comprised of a lot of 21, 22, 23, 24-year-olds who are just on that cusp, right, Dragon Ball, and so it's not going to be shocking. I know the question has been the last few years, can they get to 40? It would not be shocking at all. Not to mention, guys, we haven't mentioned, what is it, 3,500, 4,000 is the max that they played in front of last year. Now they're playing in front of 11,000 really amped up, energized fans there in Salt Lake. It's just a different atmosphere.
Yeah, no, very different atmosphere, although I have seen some pictures from fans in the Utah, like people taking pictures of the seats and how it looks on the ice. There's a couple of seats in there that look like it may not have the best view of the ice, where there's a little bit of a ledge where you can't see the one half of the ice when you're looking behind the net. So it's a little bit awkward. But again, it's not necessarily a building designed to host a hockey club. Once they get that official stadium in there, I'm sure it'll be a much more pleasing experience for the folks out there in Utah.
You know what I did yesterday? I watched the Los Angeles Clippers first ever game in the Intuit Dome, which is a $3 billion most fancy thing ever. You talk about good seats. I mean, I don't think there is. I think the crazy thing is apparently they built that place mostly around the acoustics, but the sight lines in that spot are crazy. Like they've literally, it's all fan service, the entire building. Really, really impressive place.
16, you mentioned 16 goals for the Utah Hockey Club already this season. They've allowed 14. That's not even the high so far. The highest scoring team right now are the Calgary Flames and the New Jersey Devils, who have both scored 19 goals in this early season. The Devils have already played 6 times. That's the most of any team so far, though. Most teams have played around 4 games to this early portion of the season. Any overall surprises, Dragon Ball, to you in this early part of the year with the undefeateds that we've had in the Calgary and Dallas and some of those others?
Most of these are way too early to say that they're surprises or anything like that. There are definitely a few teams that I think may have tripped coming onto the ice for their first games of the season, particularly in Colorado right now. Them being 0-3 right now with no points is a little bit of a surprise. I kind of had a suspicion that they were going to be maybe the third best team in the Central this season, but so far not looking very good for them, as Winnipeg is suddenly coming out as undefeated in that spot. And then looking over to the Pacific, I think seeing that the Sharks are winless on the year is not really a surprise, although they have actually had a couple of games where they've been in it, only giving up 10 goals to scoring 6. So that was a team that was one of the worst hockey clubs I have seen in my time watching hockey last season with their squad. So seeing them at the very least be in some competition this year is a bright sign for them moving forward.
The other winless teams, you mentioned Colorado, Nashville, Vancouver. Vancouver, they made it to the final, or the conference finals last year, didn't they?
They did, although
so did Colorado.
So did Colorado. But the situation for that is, again, the Canucks. It seems like every time we talk about the Canucks, at least amongst hockey fandom, it's okay. They got 1 year to be really good, and then after that, it's going to be about 4 or 5 years of mediocrity where they're going to be scratching for a playoff position, and then they finally get another squad that they can really kind of rally around and get themselves in a position there. But Vancouver, when they took Edmonton to 7 games in the second round, so they were really close, but just not good enough in that final moment.
All right, Pittsburgh 2-2. Happy with that?
As good as I can have it right now. Most of it has been a lot of discussion about the oncoming records being set between Evgeny and Sidney Crosby. The two of those guys really reaching the tail end of their careers, and they were starting to amass the point totals.
Does that make you feel old that Sidney Crosby's getting to the end of his career?
It used to be Sid the Kid, and then that second run of Stanley Cups, it was, Sid and the Kids was the line nickname that they had for him. And I thought, oh man, that's right. He's like nearly pushing 40 here. He's like in his mid-30s at this point. And now realizing that, this is probably going to be one of the last maybe like 2 years that I could really have a chance to watch Sidney Crosby. It's going to be very, very awkward. But the main thing for the Penguins right now, besides seeing the elder stars, I need to see Erik Karlsson get back onto the ice and be healthy. If he can be the usual fast defenseman with a great offensive shot, he can really do a lot to help this team really kind of compete for a playoff berth later on this year.
All right, it's still early. It is early in the NHL season. NBA, of course, will be getting going here in the very near future as well, so we'll dive into that as we go along here. But some interesting things so far, and the Utah Hockey Club, the parent team for your Tucson Roadrunners, off to a very good start, winning 3 of their first 4 games. I haven't done it. I'll have to pull out my calculator. How many games they play? 82 like basketball, is that right?
For hockey, it is 8. I want to say it's around 82.
Yeah.
But I'm not 100%.
Right,
I can't. They always change
82.
it. 82. Okay.
Let me do my quick U-High
They've recently
math
had
here, then.
They've recently had discussions about potentially either lengthening the regular season because of the additions of a couple of franchises with the expansions and stuff like that. So I'm not sure when that would be potentially happening, but knowing how hockey is with their expansion plans, that probably won't be for another couple years at the very least.
So the Utah Hockey Club right now is projected to win 62 games. How close will they get?
That's more than 40.
That's like that. That's like that guy that hits 4 home runs in the first 4 games of the MLB. Oh, he's on pace for 162 home runs this season. He's on fire.
How close will they get to that number? Is the question. Will they get close to 62? Again, we just want to see the franchise break 40. That'd be a good place to start before we think about getting to 62. 520-848-1290. You want to talk some hockey? We can get into that. We are at the Roadrunners Gala. Go ahead, J-Dub.
Wasn't the point record just set last year?
Like 2 years ago with the Bruins.
The most points ever scored by a team in the 82-game NHL season was just like 2 years ago. It seems like 62 would probably be close to that.
Yeah, very, very close, if not actually on the money of it.
It has to be. It has to be. It's a stupid number.
Well, we were talking in that last hour to Nicole Dallin from Arizona Soccer. We mentioned Gianna Christensen named the Big 12 Co-Offensive Player of the Week. That came out today. Christensen helped lead the Wildcats over Central Florida last week in that neutral site game down in Houston. That game initially scheduled to be played in Orlando, but was shifted due to Hurricane Milton last week. The senior midfielder knocked in the match's first goal in the 12th minute. She scored the game winner after converting a penalty kick in the 81st minute. She also had an assist in that game against Central Florida, ending the match with 5 points, her second career brace. Christensen, the second Wildcat to claim a weekly honor this season on the soccer side. So congratulations to Gianna. Again, she'll be one of the seniors playing her final games at the field, Mulcahy Stadium, coming up this weekend.
I got the totals real quick on that NHL record points.
Yes.
DK, 65, 12, and 5. That was what the Boston Bruins were 2 years ago. 65 wins, 12 losses, 5 ties.
There you go. There you go.
It's very close to that record.
Not bad. Not bad. All right, Cricket is the 4th member of our team, and she joins us now. Cricket back from her escapades across the world. You know, she's...
That's funny.
She's at Disneyland. She's in her living room watching Below Deck. She's everywhere. She is just everywhere. Anything else exciting going on, Cricket?
No.
No. Okay. All right. Well,
No,
that's
Halloween,
fine.
Halloween's coming.
Yeah.
Halloween's coming.
Got a lot
Okay.
of trunk or treat events going around.
Do you have your pumpkins yet?
No.
No.
I'm not going to do pumpkins. I have like the animated, battery-powered
Yes.
pumpkins that you
The
make a
old
little
classic,
noise.
the old classic plastic
Wait.
pumpkins. Yes.
I've not seen those. They're
Oh,
you mean like the ones, not the ones that the kids put the candy and carry with them, not those.
No, but like animated, you make some movement and they'll sing and they'll have an animated face
Really?
or whatever.
I don't know that I've ever seen that.
I got one at Target, I think, last year or the year before.
So what is
Can
it?
you record your own voice tracks for the movement?
No, but
Oh,
that would
okay.
be really. You could probably find that somewhere.
Has to be.
Mhm,
Yeah.
for sure.
All right. So, and are you loading up on the candy then or is it
Yes.
Yes. What do you got? What are the kids going to get so far?
I spent so much yesterday. They're going to get bags, like Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, so you do
Reese's,
like individual bags.
Yeah, little finger lights, and like Reese's, Hershey's, Kit Kat, and then some of the sweet, chewy things like Skittles and like Starburst.
Ooh, yeah, I like the sweet ones. Those are good. Those
like
are
the
good.
fruity kind of, yeah. You don't like chocolate.
Me?
Yeah, right.
No, I like chocolate. I do
okay.
like chocolate. I just
Not
don't like.
milk.
I don't like anything.
Oh.
I don't like chocolate with nuts or anything like that.
Oh, okay.
But like straight chocolate, I can do. I can do straight chocolate.
You're cool with that.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Are
I'll
you-
probably have leftovers.
All right. So are you gonna are you painting your face or doing your face up to scare the kids?
I am dressing up.
What? Do we have?
right.
Do you want to tell us what that's gonna entail?
Michael Myers.
Really?
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you have the mask and everything, huh?
I was gonna say, are we saying Michael Myers from Halloween or Michael Myers from like Austin Powers
No,
or Wayne's
no,
World?
from Halloween.
So I married an axe murderer is what you're thinking of.
$1 billion. I don't know, but yeah. No, yeah, I'm going to be carrying like a fake knife and like the mask and the jumpsuit,
Wow.
and the big old boots. Yeah, I'm
So
gonna be
like,
going all
are
kinds
you
of crazy.
popular in your neighborhood when is there a reputation like that's that house there, man? She does it right, or she's
Well-
scary, or
This is my first year dressing up in a long time. My mom started handing out candy last year at her. This is her house, and
Oh, okay.
she had so much fun last year. So she was like, "Do you want to come over and do that again?" I'm like, "Of course." And I'm dressing up, and we got a fog machine, and we have a skeleton dog that howls. I'm super excited.
A skeleton
really
dog you got all kinds of stuff. How much did
Yeah.
How much did all this set you back?
Well, I will say that I'm borrowing the skeleton dog and the fog machine from my sister.
It's hand-me-down Christmas stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm borrowing it instead of spending,
I was going to
$150.
ask how much your storage unit costs that you have to rent for 11 and a half months out of the year.
She has a huge house. So she just
there you
stores
go.
it there. And they're coming over to Nana's house. So the kids aren't like they're having Halloween over at Nana's house this year.
All
so
right.
with Michael Myers.
There we go. All right. Cricket will be back in about an hour. I hear she's got something really cool to tell you about. So we'll have her do that here coming up. But right now, she's going to get you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
And from the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Ina and LaChoya and Ina. It's a vehicle fire. Collisions that are reported at Drexel and Cardinal, a hit and run, and downtown clearing 6th Avenue and Congress. A serious collision in both directions of traffic on I-10 closed between Riggs Road and State Route 387. Sunny and 89 tomorrow on Friday. Windy, 80 with a 20% chance of rain and about 94 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by the Alzheimer's Association. Join the Alzheimer's Association for the 2024 Walk to End Alzheimer's Tucson on Saturday, October 26th at Gene C. Reed Park. Register today at alz.org/walk. That's alz.org/walk.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you could win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dressed like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting.
Everyone was streaking, too.
let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns.
And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike.
You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. There's a rumor that summer could finally be coming to an end, a big relief for us. But your car is probably still feeling the effects of the brutal summer heat. So now's the perfect time to stop by any of the 14 area Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care locations for a complimentary check of your brakes, batteries, coolant levels, and wiper blades. Those are just a few of the things to help keep your car road trip ready. And when those cooler overnight temperatures finally do arrive, some of you will see your low pressure warning light come on. But don't worry, you can stop by anytime for a free tire inspection and air pressure check. And if your tire sensor really is a problem, we can fix that too. Mention this ad and get free installation and tire rebalancing with the purchase of any new tire pressure sensor. Visit jackfurriers.com for even more specials. And for fast, friendly service, you can make an appointment online, call ahead, or just drive up and find out why Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care is the locals' favorite for tires and automotive repair. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care. Since 1960, we're here to get you there.
Get your backyard summer ready with a custom pool from First Choice Pools. A backyard oasis built around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this summer, now is the time to visit TucsonPoolBuilder.com. First Choice Pools for installs, renovation, remodeling, and repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com. Ask about our 60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
Families affected by Hurricanes Milton and Helene urgently need support. Help the American Red Cross provide meals and shelter to these families. Donate today to hurricane relief by going to redcross.org or calling 1-800-RED-CROSS.
I'm Bridget Condon with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Jets acquired Davante Adams in a trade from the Raiders Tuesday for a conditional 2025 third-round pick, according to NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Rodgers and Adams reunite after spending 8 seasons together in Green Bay. Meantime, the Browns are trading wide receiver Amari Cooper to the Bills, according to NFL Network insiders Tom Pelissero and Ian Rappaport. Cleveland gets a 2025 third-round pick and a 2026 seventh-round pick in the deal, while Buffalo gets Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round pick. Tom Pelissero also reporting the Steelers are planning to give Russell Wilson first-team reps in practice this week, putting him in line to make his season debut as the starting quarterback Sunday night against the Jets. Wilson has been sidelined with a calf injury since the preseason. And Tom Brady has been officially approved by NFL owners as a limited partner of the Raiders, and the city of Atlanta has been awarded Super Bowl 62 at Mercedes.
Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We're coming to you live from the Tucson Convention Center. It is the Road Runners Gala here tonight, coming up at 6 o'clock as we face off this 2024-25 hockey season, the 9th for the Roadrunners here in Southern Arizona. We're pleased to be joined by the man that runs this spacious facility where we are here today, Glenn Grabsky. He is the general manager of the Tucson Convention Center. And Glenn, we appreciate you taking some time to join us. I got here today and I'm walking through, and as always, there's a number of different events happening and different organizations holding court in here. How many events do you guys have daily or usually?
So, first of all, thanks for being here.
Yeah.
We're a busy little building. On an average throughout the year, we do about 1,200 events.
Wow.
So that, considering we have 4 buildings, right? We have 2 theaters, the arena, and the convention center. So on any Saturday, Friday or Saturday, you can see 3, 4, 5 things going on at once. Today, I think we have 6 different events going on in this area of the building.
And you have been just short of 10 years here. Happy anniversary next month.
Thanks.
You're 10 years with the
Absolutely.
Convention Center.
I came back to Tucson in 2014 and to take on this place. I have history in this building. I used to be a concert promoter back in the 80s.
Oh, wow.
I used to do shows back in the arena, obviously before the Convention Center side was built. And so it was great to come back to Tucson. I'm a U of A grad. It was great to come back and spend the last part of my career here.
All right, so tell me, if you booked acts, tell me the best act you ever brought to Tucson.
I can tell you the ones I remember. That usually, because there's a story that goes along with it, and most of the stories I can't tell now.
Oh, boy.
But Aerosmith, back in the day,
Wow.
you could play anything because of economics of it. You could play anything, anywhere, pretty much. So it was Aerosmith, it was Heart, it was a big band back then. This is mid-'80s.
Mm-hmm.
Diana Ross a few times. And I don't know what I did, maybe a dozen shows.
Wow. So did you always eventually think that you would get into running a facility like this? Is that kind of what the goal was, to run a convention center or some larger type of entertainment venue?
No, I never thought about it that way, but it does make sense. And the truth is, so there's a conference table in my office, and it's the conference table I remember selling shows on in the 80s. And when I got it, they said, "Oh, you need new furniture." And so I'm like, "That table's staying." And I remember sitting at that table during one of the show's settlements, and thinking, when I get old, I'm going to come back here and run this place. It'd be great. It'd be easy. Eat a lot of bonbons, play a lot of golf. I'm back, and that's about the only thing that came true out of that.
So you're not playing a lot of golf, is what you're saying?
No, I hit the range as much as I can, but I don't hit the course as much as I need to.
Oh, boy. Glenn Grabsky joining us. He's the general manager of the Tucson Convention Center, 9th season for the Roadrunners here. Obviously, you've been here for all 9 of those seasons. So what was your role in helping to bring this club here?
Well, it was interesting because it seems just like yesterday that we signed that contract, the initial contract. And I'll tell you one thing that was right off the bat. Literally, they signed the contract. The next day, they started coming in and doing demo. It's because we had to spend, I think we wrote a check for about $3.5 million to upgrade the locker rooms and the dashers and get everything up to AHL standards. And to have that done from like May 26th and being open by October 1st was just amazing. It was amazing. That summer was a big blur of construction.
So what was this year like for you when there was obviously the rumors that the club might be moving to Tempe or part of the season might be played in Tempe? How did you navigate that from the convention center side?
Well, obviously you do your numbers and say, hey, what's going to be the impact to our budget and what we may have to look at staffing wise and other cutbacks. But I felt confident that we would end up with the full season here from day one. I just felt like it felt right. It felt like the thing to do. I thought, people were thinking other things. Maybe saying come to their senses, not the right thing to say, but they would come to their senses and realize the Roadrunners need to be here in Tucson and stay in Tucson.
Yeah, absolutely. And now it's obviously the Roadrunners, longtime, tenants. The University of Arizona hockey team also plays here and still plays here as well.
And they added a women's team this year.
Yeah, that's right. The women's team is starting this year as well. So they're playing here as well. The women's team?
So it really is a 5-pound ham and a 3-pound can right now. Lucky I have some very, very sharp people that work for me or work here. My assistant general manager and my assistant director of events, my director of events, everybody is trying to figure it out how it works, because you only have so many days in the calendar, and they've done a great job, and everyone's been cooperative. Roadrunners have been cooperative to make it all work.
Did you have to go to school to learn how to take care of ice?
I didn't, but there are schools for that. There are schools. As a matter of fact, it's funny for venue management. From years ago, decades ago, there was 2 schools that specialized at Ohio University and UMass. I didn't go to either. Obviously, went to U of A. So I learned. I started learning ice in the previous building I was in Charlotte. We had the NBA Hornets, Bobcats at the time, and AHL Checkers. So I was learning ice then and got here to a crash course of it.
Joined by Glenn Grabsky, the general manager of the Tucson Convention Center, and now we have added football, indoor football, to the mix over the course of the last few years. How did that come to be here from your standpoint?
Yeah, Kevin and Kathy Guy, the owners of the team, and came down and we went through a long period of dancing together and see if we wanted to dance, see if we would make a good couple, and it came through, and it's a great product. It really is. I never watched it before, hadn't had a chance to watch it. It's very entertaining. It feels a nice little area of the time of year. It's perfect, right?
Right.
When, hockey's starting to wind down and then get into the summer and stuff. So for our crew, when they have to go from, say, hockey to football to a concert to hockey, it keeps them hopping a little bit, but it keeps them busy and it keeps them off the street, I
So
guess.
when you use the term, Kathy and the coach
Kevin.
came down, Kevin, and you guys had to dance together, what do you need to hear from these dance partners to get you to move forward with a project?
Well, if you talk to Kevin, he'll say it's one thing, numbers. Right. And it's true. I mean, we want to make sure that we 2 things. Obviously, make numbers work for both sides. I want to make sure that the person that comes in here understands this market. Tucson is a great market, but it's an unusual market. And I want to make sure that they don't come in and just try and bully around, and they want to be part of this community. And they've satisfied all of that.
Outstanding. And then obviously you hosted the former president at one of the music venues here this year as well. Do they contact you and say we want the convention center, or we want? How did that decision come to where that event would be held?
So luckily, my director of sales handles all those. I've been involved with a few of those things over the years and stuff, but they're a lot of work for a little, and it happens very fast.
Oh yeah.
Because they'll notify you no more than 2 weeks in advance. And they came to a lot of site visits. They looked at everything from the music hall, what they ended up picking, to the arena, to even the exhibit halls, as potential venues for it. And it's up to them, and they decided to go with the music hall.
All right. So what's the next big thing that's happening? Maybe even just this year. Is there anything big happening before the calendar turns to 2025 that we should know about?
The biggest thing is Saturday night, opening night.
Well, of course.
Right?
Of course that's
right?
happening. We know about that.
That is absolutely the biggest thing. Between now and then, I think Friday night we have Parker McCollum. So in concert in the arena. Following week, going to the music hall, got ZZ Top. So,
ZZ Top,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, so
I know a little bit about that. I'm from the 80s.
You and me both. But it's all good. So obviously we're just busy through the first year, and then obviously the biggest thing that happens after the first year is Gem Show.
What's and I guess that was my next question. What's the longest standing event that you host every single year? Would it be Gem Show? Or would it be
Show. Gem Show. We actually have 2 shows. During that time, our first show is a trade show, not open to the public. big time buyers come in and everything. Then the second week is the consumer show. It's the one that started off for the Tucson Gem Mineral Society, and that's fantastic. It's great once you get rolling in it, and once you get set, it's fantastic. 3 weeks.
Right. Now you're scheduled to speak to the fans here tonight. What are you going to say?
I don't know. That looks awfully formal up there. I thought I'd just be raising a beer. Or
right,
something
exactly,
like that. But we'll see. I have some notes. We'll see what comes off my mind.
Well, Glenn, we appreciate you taking a few moments to join us. What did you study at the U of A?
I studied technically, I got my degree in finance, but the truth is I studied concerts.
Oh, wow.
When I was going to school there, ASUA, Associated Students, had a student-run concert board, and that's why I stayed in college, to run that place.
There you go.
They got smart and got rid of it. Highly risky.
Highly risky. Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time. I moved here in 2008, and the first Bear Down Friday I went to, Katy Perry performed, and I'm thinking to myself, man, they actually get like real artists here to the University of Arizona. So it's cool how those types of things happen, and the university is able to pull in big artists when they want to and whatnot. But I remember there was also a concert at the stadium that did not go as well.
Yeah, I think that's what did the program.
Right, exactly.
And I remember thinking, why didn't they call? There's a very good big group of people that came out of that program that are in this business.
Yeah,
from Live Nation to record companies and everything. All I had to do is pick up a phone.
Yeah, there you go.
It's
well,
all
Glenn,
good.
Continued success to you,
Appreciate
and happy anniversary again
thanks.
on 10
Appreciate
years.
it.
All right, Glenn Grabsky, he is the general manager of the Tucson Convention Center. Appreciate him taking a few minutes to join us. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. Some slowing for Ahaway and Mission Road. Collisions that are reported at Golf Links and Aviation Parkway and Golf Links, Kinney and Gates Pass Road and Kinney, and at Ina and La Cholla, that was an earlier vehicle fire. And just reported a collision at Fort Lowell and Alvernon Way. We've got 89 and sunny skies tomorrow for Friday. Windy, 80 is the high and a 20% chance of rain, and it's 93 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Norton 360.
October Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Boost your online security with Norton 360. As PCMag's most awarded security brand, Norton blocked over 219 million threats last year. Stay ahead of cyber threats with Norton 360. Get up to 58% off at norton.com/secure.
Tune into Wildcats Radio 1290 weekly for Brett Brennan's football press conference, where you can catch up on all things Arizona football this season. Sponsored by Coors Light. Choose chill. Official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics.
Hey, Wildcat fans, Arizona football is here. Catch head coach Brent Brennan as the Wildcats enter their inaugural season of the Big 12 Conference. We need you to be part of the action, filling the stands and cheering on Arizona. Secure your seats for all 7 home games with season tickets, or pick the plan that is best for you by calling the ticket office at 520-621-2287 or visiting ArizonaWildcats.com/FB. Lock in your tickets today. We'll see you at Arizona Stadium. Bear down. Go Cats.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help.
426-2537 for help. Sponsored by Sleeper, a Blitz product.
DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Blue Arena coming away with it is Sokolov. Milos to Ratu. Scores! And the Roadrunners take a 2-goal lead once again. Milos Kelman.
And that is the new play-by-play man for your Tucson Roadrunners, Jonathan Schaefer. We'll hear more from Jonathan coming up a little bit later. It is the Roadrunners Gala here at the Tucson Convention Center tonight. The festivities get underway at around 6 o'clock, and still time for you to get your tickets and get on out here and really enjoy the evening and meet the players and all of that, coming off their 1-1 trip to Colorado, losing the opener but coming back and winning Game 2 of that series to get this series split. 520-848-1290 is the number. I want to dive into Major League Baseball here. Game 3 of the National League Championship Series is happening tonight at Citi Field in Queens, New York. That should be getting underway here in about 25 minutes or so. Dodgers and the Mets tied 1 game apiece. Walker Buehler will get the ball tonight for the Dodgers. He did not pitch very well during his first outing of the postseason. And it'll be Luis Severino, much better, got a victory. He's pitched 12 innings so far in the post inning with 10 strikeouts. Walker Buehler, however, in his last outing did not record a strikeout in 5 innings. So Dodgers looking hopefully for a bounce back there from one of their most dependable pitchers. The money line favorite in this one tonight is the New York Mets at -115. That's the money line favorite tonight in Game 3 of the National League Championship Series, which gets underway. First pitch coming up at 5:08. Last night, the Yankees took a commanding 2-zip lead over my tribe.
Now Weaver getting ready. Here's the 1-2. A ground ball to third. Chisholm fields, fires across in time. Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win. And promptly take a 2-0 lead in this best-of-7 series.
Are there fans, Dragon Ball, outside of New York City that enjoy that endings to games like that?
I think it's similar to my dad has a big issue with the old turn out the lights, the party's over, because it only came up, and you love to hear it when your team was winning. You hated to hear it when your team lost. I think that call is only favorable to Yankee fans, and the only people that like it are Yankees fans.
Yeah, I mean, Yankees win. We've heard so much after, the late 90s success and through the 2000s. I've just heard that. I've heard games end like that far too many. I'd like to get somebody else another chance.
Well, hey, John Sterling's retiring, so he can have a few more.
They brought him back for the postseason, right?
Yes, they did. They brought him back for the postseason.
Yeah, I think it's just the postseason.
Yep,
yeah, no, I love John Sterling. I'm not here to talk trash about John Sterling. It's just the way that game, Yankees win, I've heard one too many times. That's all.
Well, Cleveland in this ball game used 8 pitchers. 8 pitchers to accomplish 9 innings of work as their starter, Tanner Bybee, who was not a designated starter but an actual starter, but could only get 4 outs in this ball game before he was lifted. Aaron Judge has been going through a little bit of a slump, but he came out of it late in this game.
Here's the 1-1. Judge hits a high fly to center. Back goes Thomas on the track near the wall. She's gone! Aaron Judge hit the ball so high you wondered. It came down in Monument Park. It's a Judgian blast. All rise. Here comes the Judge.
Aaron Judge with a 2-run home run, hit 58 during the regular season, but has been struggling in the postseason. Just 3 hits in 18 at-bats, a double and a home run, 2 of those 3 hits. But they need to get him going if they want to try to maybe go deep and win this whole thing. And it was interesting, just when you look at this series. I mean, the Yankees' offense hasn't necessarily been that great through these first portions of the games against the, obviously the Kansas City Royals and now Cleveland, but they have been able to pretty much navigate this with 4 wins in 5 games to put themselves in the driver's seat with Game 3 of this series coming up on Thursday night in Cleveland. That'll be a 5:08 Eastern time, so 2:08 our time. First pitch tomorrow at Progressive Field. Now, 2 Tucson connections in this series to the New York Yankees. One of them is Alex Verdugo.
And here's the 1-1. Line, base hit, over third, down the left field line, rolling to the left field corner. 1 run has scored Volpe. The other runners go to second and third with no one out.
Alex Verdugo with an RBI double. He has driven in 2 runs in the postseason. Both of those runs have come in Yankee wins. He is 5 for 20 so far in the postseason. The graduate of Saguaro High School, Alex Verdugo. And then, of course, there is Aaron Wells, the U of A grad, who is also playing. Austin Wells, who is also playing in this series. And Austin has appeared in 6 postseason games. Has not hit the ball tremendously well so far in the postseason. Just 2 of 24 is Austin Wells, but a couple of connections to Tucson with an Arizona Wildcat in Austin Wells and a Tucson Prepster, Saguaro High grad, Alex Verdugo, both trying to get to their first World Series with the New York Yankees. And again, that will be a Game 3 tomorrow, Game 4 coming up Friday, Game 5 Saturday. All 3 of those games will be in Cleveland before, if necessary, the series shifts back to New York for Games 6 and 7, which would be on Monday and Tuesday. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We were talking, by the way, the BetQL 5-star play last night was to take the Yankees on the money line, and that was the call, and that was the win. So we've got 2 winners already this week. We had the Bills and Jets over 41, which landed at 43. We had the Yankees over the Indians on the money line. So I take Dragon Ball. We're starting to win some here. We're starting to turn around. We've won now 22 of our last 34 bets.
Get those wins while you can.
I'm
you never know. Lady Luck turns around real quick on people.
So we were beating the BetQL people up because they were giving us a lot of losses early in this thing. But
I think that's a lot of us. That was you going off on it, DK. I was laughing. About it. I'm like, it ain't that serious.
Yeah. So we'll give you some of the. We got some college football plays already. One of them, we'll give you one now since it's that we're creeping up on the weekend. One of the 5-star plays for the weekend is Oregon minus 27.5 over Purdue. And I think that game is in West Lafayette, which it's a little bit scary. I mean, now again, Purdue up until last week couldn't get out of their own way, and then they scored 49 points against Illinois and losing by 1. But I got to give them credit, man. They went for 2 in overtime. They didn't have to do that. They tried to go for the win on the road, and so I'll give their coaching staff a lot of credit for at least making that decision to try to get those kids a victory after they had come so far back from down. I think they were down almost like Miami was. I think they were down 3 touchdowns and came back to force overtime.
Since you brought up Oregon, quick question. Dragon Ball was talking about the rule change that happened in a 48-hour, a little bit more than 48 hours, but not much after the events of what happened on Saturday. The question I have is, they did that clearly on purpose. Why did they stop at 12? Why didn't they just put 20 players out there on the field?
I would have put on the whole sideline at that point.
Well, literally, they were actively attempting to stop Ohio State from scoring with more than 11 players on the field. That was the plan. And the runoff of the clock makes perfect sense because now teams can't intentionally put an extra man out there in the field and have clock run off because that's just a terrible, terrible And we were talking off air, Dragon Ball, when a rule affects a top 5 matchup or an NFL playoff game, they tend to turn around and make those rule changes pretty quick. But my question is literally, like, why not 13 or 14 guys out there?
Yeah, that would be a little much. I think that's a little bit obvious. I think you still want to try to get away with it if you can.
The rule is that's what I mean. The rule is the rule. The rule is too many men. Illegal substitution is the actual penalty that they were given, and it was only at the last second. It's because they had 11 players on the field, and the 12th ran out just as the play was getting underway.
My thought process is maybe, just maybe, if Oregon decides to go out with 14 players at the start of the snap, the referees might go ahead and just call that play dead before the ball is snapped. If you sneak a guy on right before the snap and have there be 12 players, then it's like, well, we have to go ahead and say it's just a legal substitution, but the play still counts, so therefore the 4 seconds still come off. But the worst case scenario, unless Oregon just has somebody slip and fall on the back end of the defense, the worst you can give up in that situation is 5 yards. So if you sneak someone on, then 5 yards is the most you give up. If you have 13 players on at the start of the play, it's like, we'll just call this play dead, and you need to figure out who.
It's just a dumb loophole. I'm glad they closed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
5 yards for 4 seconds. I mean, it worked out. It definitely worked out for the Oregon Ducks. That's for sure. All right, coming up in the 5 o'clock hour, we'll have much more straight ahead. We are at the Roadrunners Gala, or do you prefer to say gala? We voted gala.
How many hockey galas have you attended, Dragon Ball?
I've never been to a hockey gala before.
I have maybe been to one, but I think it was also going to the Roadrunners last year.
Yeah, so this is a first for me. But we'll have much more coming up for you in the last hour of our show. Hopefully maybe we'll get a chance to talk some hockey with some of the folks here from the Roadrunners as well. And we'll also I want to get back. We had a chance to talk to Nicole Dallin in the first hour of our program, Arizona Soccer Star. And I want to get back to that postseason tournament and go over that because it is an interesting dynamic. We've never been a part of a postseason tournament. Conference tournament for soccer, and we'll let you know exactly how that's going to play out for Arizona Soccer once they get there and where they stand right now in terms of their seeding going into the Big 12 Conference soccer tournament. Only the top 12 teams will go. So right now, Central Florida, Iowa State, Houston, and Kansas State are on the outside looking in to this tournament. We'll let you know a little bit more about that coming up as well. DK on the sports tip. Dragon Ball has got everything you want to know about sports in Southern Arizona and around the world.
Wildcats Radio 1290. 2020 Sports.
Well, the University of Arizona men's golf team were not able to go ahead and hold on to that top spot at St. Andrews Invitational, but the women managed to make their move from second and go ahead and seal the deal with one short putt.
Now the stage set for Charlotte back to close things out and send the ladies back to Tucson as champs. And the Arizona women, winners at St. Andrews. Yeah, they're going home as champs, the women of Arizona. They will have a happy flight back to Tucson tomorrow.
Another happy flight back to Tucson, as this is another win for the women's golf team this season, finishing overseas with the victory there. Back stateside, the Arizona volleyball team has the next Big 12 contest here in Tucson. That'll be against the Buffalo of Colorado at 6 p.m. Injury concerns continue for the Cardinals right now as they officially place kicker Matt Prater on the team's injured reserve, as well as defensive lineman Bilal Nichols. Prater missed the last 2 games with a knee issue, while Nichols suffered his second straight stinger against the Packers this week. And Jonathan Gannon said that the two are eligible to return this season on Monday. Reports are now saying that Nichols is now done for the year. Playoff baseball continues this week as the Yankees slugger Aaron Judge, you just heard, he had all the fans rise in New York.
Led the majors. Sends one high and deep to center field. Did he get it? Back on it is Thomas. He's at the wall. He got it. It's a 2-run home run. Aaron Judge finally connects his first home run of this postseason.
And here gets a fastball 95 up in the zone. He connected, and that ball just kept going and going. And Thomas just ran out of room.
Kept going for his first postseason home run this year. Now Judge and the Yankees now have a 2-game lead going into Cleveland on Thursday. Currently, the NLCS is set to go out first pitch here after the top of the hour here at 5 o'clock. We'll give you updates as the game goes on. I'm Dragon Ball with your 2020 Sports Update on Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, this is Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With collisions reported Tangerine west of Oracle, Sabino Canyon, and Kolb Road. Fort Lowell and Alvernon Way, and also Golf Links and Aviation Parkway. We've got traffic on I-10 closed between Riggs Road and State Route 387 due to a collision. Broadway west of Kolb Road, that reported as a residential fire. Expect fire crews on scene. And I'm Cricket with your traffic, and we've got for your weather 89 sunny tomorrow, Friday, windy 80 with a 20% chance of rain, and 93 now. And that's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The new Lux Cravings Box from Taco Bell. For $7, indulge in a Chicken Chalupa Supreme, beefy 5-layer burrito, and Doritos Locos Taco, plus chips and a drink. Get yours at Taco Bell for a limited time while supplies last. Price and participation vary. Excludes freezes. Tax extra.
In a world of chaos and high inflation, where savings are rare,
just a minute, ladies and gentlemen, I think something is happening.
There's only one place that can save you up to 40% off your favorite tobacco products. Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn. In a quest to unlock the key to savings, Tobacco Barn embarks upon the ultimate adventure to charge no city or state sales tax because they're on the reservation, and to save up to $3 off with the coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com.
This is not a joke.
When savings are stolen by the evil of other high-priced tobacco stores, there's only one powerful enough to resist city and state sales taxes, plus save you up to $3 with a coupon at tobaccobarntucson.com. Tobacco Barn. Tobacco Barn. Hooray! And if all else fails, we can always call upon I'm Captain Tobacco at your service.
My hero.
Tobacco Barn, Tucson's most epic adventure in savings. Now showing at Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 85% water, right?
85% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure concentrated cleaning ingredients. Don't pay for water, pay for clean.
Save $10 when you spend $30 on Tide and Downy. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent. Must buy at least one participating Tide or Dreft detergent item, plus at least one participating Downy and or Bounce scent booster, liquid fabric softener, or dryer sheets. Prepaid card by mail. Visit pglaundryrebate.com for terms and conditions.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. Never hollers, and he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Out here in the middle of these acres, it can feel like you're the only person on Earth. That's how it feels when you're struggling with your mental health. But you don't have to feel alone. Find more information at loveyourmindtoday.org. Brought to you by the Huntsman Mental Health Institute and the Ad Council.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We have the Arizona Wildcats covered on game day like no one else. With the biggest pre- and post-game coverage in the Big 12. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
Wait, what's the CNWT?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
David Amata.
Hey, that's Dragon Ball to you.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names. David Scott Kelly.
Milos coming behind the net. Milos coming right in front to Akuratu, and the Roadrunners take a 2-1 lead. It's the second power play goal for Tucson.
And we're coming to you live from the Tucson Convention Center. It is the Roadrunners Gala here tonight as the start of the hockey season has hit us here in southern Arizona. It is the Roadrunners and the Texas Stars this weekend with a pair of games Saturday night at 7 o'clock and then a quick turnaround. I mean, they're going to get done playing around probably 9:30, 10 o'clock on Saturday night. They got to turn around for a 4 p.m. face-off on Sunday. So it'll be a difficult weekend, but a quick weekend of hockey here on the North Coast as we start this 4-game homestand. Next week it'll be the Bakersfield Condors coming into town for the Tucson Roadrunners. All kinds of exciting stuff happening this year with this club. We've gone over a number of the different events. The gala tonight going to be a fun event. Food, they're starting to set up the food and the drink here. There'll be raffles. They've got the big screen up. We've got some highlights up on the big screen. The face-off gala, as they're calling it here, and we're going to have some programming around that. It is just 48 hours away, opening night here
DK,
for the 9th season.
It is so busy down there, there's really only one way to describe it.
It really is a 5-pound ham in a 3-pound can right now. Lucky I have some very, very sharp people that work for me or work here.
What was that? A 5-pound ham?
5-pound ham in a 3-pound can.
There we go. I don't know that I've ever heard that before, but Glenn Grabsky just laying down that knowledge there of what they're dealing with 3 hockey teams playing. I hadn't forgot about it, but we hadn't had a chance to really delve too deeply into it, and we'll have to do that maybe next week. The Arizona women's hockey team is starting their campaign. This is their first year as a program, and so they're also playing games here at the TCC at Tucson Arena as well. So we'll have to get you their schedule. We'll get that up on our website and our Twitter accounts and make sure that everybody is aware because we had a chance to talk to their coach, Caitlin Hogan, last year, right when they first announced that there was going to be a women's hockey team for the University of Arizona. And so good to see them. They've already started the year. I believe their first game was back on the 26th of September. And so we'll have to check in on them and see how things are going in this first year of women's hockey at the University of Arizona. So a lot of exciting stuff happening on the ice between the 3 programs that Glenn mentioned there, the men from Arizona, the women from Arizona, and, of course, the Tucson Roadrunners who start their home realm this year, or this week, I should say, on Friday night. And don't forget, we mentioned also the Utah Hockey Club is playing tonight. They wrap up their 4-game road trip back on the West Coast. They'll take on Anaheim. That'll be a 7 o'clock start tonight out on the West Coast before the fellas will finally get home and get some more games going on up there in Salt Lake City after that exciting home opener just a few weeks back. I mentioned that we had a chance to talk to Nicole Dallin in the first hour, and I wanted to kind of get into this Big 12 Soccer Conference tournament because it's the first time we'll have a conference tournament in soccer, and it's set up very much like we see a lot of the conference tournaments that are set up. I mentioned that only the top 12 teams will qualify. So right now, the 4 teams sitting out of the playoff picture, or out of the conference tournament picture, are Central Florida, Iowa State, Houston, and Kansas State. At the moment, Arizona is the, 7th seed. They are the 7th seed at 4-3-1. We mentioned that tough loss at Houston. They could have put themselves potentially in a better seeded situation. Right now, they would play Baylor. Baylor is the 10th seed currently, so the top 4 seeds will get byes for this event, which will take place at the CPKC Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. That is the new stadium that houses the National Women's Soccer League Club in Kansas City. That's where they'll play this tournament. The games will be held on Wednesday, October the 30th, so that'll be 2 weeks from today is when this tournament will start. Saturday, November the 2nd will be the quarterfinals, and then Wednesday, November the 6th will be the semifinals, and Saturday, November the 9th will be the finals. So they'll have about 2 full days of rest in between each one of these matches, and then obviously, 2 days for 2 of the rounds, and then between the quarterfinals and the semifinals, you'll have 3 days of rest. But this is a long trip. I mean, think about that. If you're going to Kansas City, and I would imagine if you're playing in the first round and you play all the way through, you're going to be there for a week and a half. So, I mean, there's not too many conference tournaments where they go on for that long, but you've got to have, it's soccer, so you've got to have days off in between for these players to recuperate. So you would have the top 4 seeds would get byes, and then obviously the remaining 8 seeds would play under a normal structure, 5-12, 8-9 games, 7-10, and 6-11, and those would play into the brackets with the 2 and the 3 seed, the 1 and the 4 seed, and so forth through to crown the Big 12 champion and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. So, again, still an opportunity for Arizona. They're not obviously going to win the Big 12 Conference regular season title. Their RPI, after that loss to Houston, took a little bit of a hit. They're down to 47, but a chance to potentially right that if you go to the Big 12 tournament and you can get on a run and win some ball games there and get that automatic bid. That would be fun. We did look. We had mentioned a couple of days ago, I think, we weren't sure if there was a Big 12 Conference tournament in volleyball. There is not one in volleyball, just soccer. So you've got to win the league to get the automatic bid the regular season. And so Arizona's got some work to do on that side. They will start that run with 3 consecutive home games beginning tonight against Colorado and then Houston on Friday, ASU next Thursday. The ladies need to pick up some victories there in order to put themselves back into play. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. Starting to see some action here as the folks are setting up for this event here tonight. They're expecting over about 200 people will be here for this event tonight, this gala. Again, they moved it to the evening because they wanted to have the opportunity for more people to be able to attend after their workflow. So that's one of the good things about this event this year. And so just really looking forward to this year and this season with the Tucson Roadrunners and what this all has to offer. David Amata, have you been to a game?
I have not been able to get to a game as of yet, but I am planning on.
You have not been to a game.
9 years, I've not been to a Roadrunners game, but I was a staple at one point when I was growing up in high school, coming over to Ice Cats games all the time. So I have been to hockey at the TCC. This season, I'm actually looking to try and get a game in before it could potentially be the last time we see the Roadrunners here in town. But I will be there at some point this year for sure.
Don't say that too loud.
Well, not saying that too loud, but I'm just saying it's a fact. We don't know what the future that we have to hold for the franchise.
J-Dub, have you been to a Roadrunners game? I think I've had this conversation.
I did, yeah, years ago, early in it. We went to 1 or 2, yeah. Yeah. But it's been a minute for sure.
See, we may have, again, I talked about this last year. We may have to get a staff night out at the Roadrunners game. We'll have to find a Friday night, maybe when things are not as hectic, and get everybody out to a game. I don't know if you heard this, J-Dub, but Dragon Ball finally went to Trident for the first time in his
life.
Yeah,
I did hear that.
Again, it's like you live here for your entire life. You haven't been to a game, haven't been to Trident. We got to get him out of his house and get him involved here. So how was Trident for the first time?
It was very good. The pretzel was actually a big surprise. I actually really liked the pretzel appetizer that I had, and the burger sliders were very, very well done. I think that the meat was cooked just perfectly for the patty that I asked for.
And
it was
right,
medium rare, right where it needed to be. If I'm not, I want to say I was at the one on Oracle. It was right here by the station here, not too far away. I want to make sure I get the. Yeah, I was trying to get the Speedway. I was over on Speedway.
Oh, So you were by the campus.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the old A-frame. That's the original.
Yeah, that's the original one, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you went to a good one then. I wasn't sure because there's only 1, 2, and 4 now. They closed 3 down. That was our former Browns bar, but they closed that one down. So, but yeah, that's the
Browns fans getting too rowdy over there.
Too rowdy on Sundays. They said we can't have these rowdy people with their big blow-up Cleveland Browns guy out front. scaring people away, scaring other customers away. So yeah, they just decided to shut down rather than kicking us out. They just shut down the business. But yeah, one is nostalgic. 2's got a really cool patio. 4 doesn't really do much for me, but I've been there a few times as well. So good stuff there. Good stuff there. All right, don't forget I've got to take care of some business here before we get to cricket. We had 2 winners in our you'll want to do this next week. We've got this coming up. We've got 2 winners in our Instagram giveaway. We gave away 8 tickets to the Arizona-Colorado football game on Instagram, and we're giving away more tickets for next week's game against West Virginia. So congratulations to Harriet Lou. Harriet Lou is a winner of a 4-pack of tickets to the homecoming game between Arizona and Colorado. And also congratulations to Sally Murphy. Sally Murphy is a winner of a pair of tickets. 4 tickets to the homecoming game this Saturday between Arizona and Colorado. This is something new that we did where we put out the offer on our Instagram account. If you go to our Instagram account right now, Wildcats Radio 1290, you can see the post that we have on our story for next Saturday's game against West Virginia. So what you've got to do is you've got to follow us. So first and foremost, you have to follow us on Instagram, and then you have to tag 3 of your friends on that post in order to have a chance to win the tickets for next Saturday's game against West Virginia. Now, they flexed that game into the 6-day window, so we don't know the start time on it. We will not know the start time of that game until Sunday after the homecoming game. But head on over to our Instagram account, Wildcats Radio 1290. You can follow us on there, and then you can tag 3 of your friends on the comment line, and you'll have a chance to win 4 tickets to see Arizona and West Virginia. All right, let's talk to cricket now. Cricket has something cool for you as well. See, I'm giving you cool tickets to see Arizona and Colorado and Arizona and West Virginia. Cricket's got something else that's cool for you that we've got.
Yes, listen to this. So you can stop by the front desk at Wildcats Radio 1290 Studios, which is 575 West Roger Road. You can swing by and pick up free tickets to the Southern Arizona Home Show coming to the TCC Friday, October 25th through Sunday, October 27th. Just mention that you heard that we have free tickets. Tell them DK sent you. You stop by the front desk. Again, 575 West Roger Road during our regular business hours, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Maximum 4 tickets per person over the age of 18.
Cricket, did you hear that Dragon Ball finally went to Trident?
What did you have? Which Trident? What happened?
I went to the original on Speedway.
The best, my favorite.
I was able to have the pretzel for the appetizer. The pretzel was very, very good.
Yes.
And I had their little burger sliders, and the burger sliders were cooked perfectly.
Yes.
Perfectly. Perfect medium rare burger. I was overjoyed.
Excellent. And fries?
Fries I did have, yes.
Yum. So good.
It was a good deal. It was a very good deal.
There's never no bad dish at Trident. Everything's good.
Everything's good.
Right,
Yay, I'm so glad you went.
So now we've kicked that off his bucket list of things he's never done. Now we got to kick one off of your list now, Cricket, because the list was very long.
It's still pretty
long.
So
long that
I didn't realize that they were going to have you
get a 3rd sheet of paper.
I didn't realize they were going to have you take one off your list, so I apologize. If I had known that, I wouldn't have gone to Trident.
Thanks, man. Appreciate that. It's your fault.
All right. Southern Arizona Home Show. I've never been to a home show. Is that something that you would enjoy, Cricket?
Yeah, I've gone to those before. Yeah.
Do you buy? Do you spend like way too much money buying stuff for your house?
Well, if I had too much money to spend, I'm sure I would. You know what I mean? There's some really nice stuff there. But it's really cool to look at, get some ideas, for some decorating and stuff.
There you go. All right, Southern Arizona Home Show. That's next week. All of this is next weekend. U of A, West Virginia, next weekend. Southern Arizona Home Show next weekend. And we've got tickets for all of that stuff for you. All right.
It's like a 5-pound ham and a 3-pound can.
Man.
See, now we have to figure out ways to say that every week for something or other. 5-pound can, 5-pound hand, and a 3-pound can. All right, Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together. Collisions that are reported in Clearing, Sabino Canyon, and Kolb Road. Tangerine west of Oracle and also Midtown, Fort Lowland, Alvernon. The westbound side of I-10 is closed between Riggs Road and State Route 387 due to a serious collision. 89 and sunny tomorrow. On Friday, windy. 80 is the high and a 20% chance of rain, and 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by LifeLock.
It's Cybersecurity Awareness Month, and LifeLock is warning you about phishing scams tricking you into revealing personal info. For even more protection, choose LifeLock, which alerts you to suspicious uses of your info and fixes the issues. Start your 30-day free trial at lifelock.com/cybersafety.
Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290 Thursday afternoons to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, where you can win money by placing a bet on the right team this football season. More info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Cheers to a great day and this ice-cold Corona.
You know what would make this day even better? My grandma's carne asada.
Or your grandma here with us, making carne asada.
She does love a cold Corona.
Throw in some dancing.
We can watch the game.
I'll drink to that.
So a backyard concert with football, food, dancing, and Corona?
And your grandma.
Or we could keep it simple.
Simple is good. Want a Corona?
Thanks. Salud to the perfect day.
Corona, la vida más fina. Get your Corona at ordercorona.com. Relax responsibly. Corona Extra Beer, imported by Crown Import, Chicago, Illinois.
Wildcats Radio, 1290 and Goldberg and Osborne. The injury lawyers are proud to support the University of Arizona radio broadcast. Your Arizona Wildcats will take on Colorado this Saturday at Arizona Stadium. Get all the info at wildcatsradio1290.com.
Alaskan AC has been keeping people chill since 1972.
Oh, chill. Cool. I get it. It's a theme.
No, it's not.
It's not?
The theme is 72, as in 1972.
Is that why you dress like that?
$72 for an Alaska vacation.
Ooh.
$72 for a service call.
Neat.
Even $72 off any repair.
Whoa.
This month, it's 72, 72, 72 to celebrate 1972, the year Alaskan AC opened its doors.
And everybody was kung fu fighting. Everyone was streaking, too. Let's stick to what we do best.
That's right. A $72 Alaska vacation is the perfect way to prepare for the upcoming season. It's so good, we guarantee no breakdowns.
The $72 service call makes it easy to check any concerns. And saving $72 off any repair means that you can buy one of those cool banana seats for your rad bike. You have a weird definition of cool.
72, 72, 72. This month at AlaskanAC.com.
Online, on your phone with the Freedom 1400 app, on your smart speaker, or on the air. No matter how you listen. Join Brian Kilmeade for his insightful commentary and engaging discussions from 6 to 9 a.m. Keep the conversation going with Dan Bongino from 9 to noon for his straight-talking analysis. Then catch Chris Plant from noon to 3 and Jimmy Fela from 3 to 6 for more thought-provoking discussions and hilarious moments. Conservative talk for Tucson is Freedom 1400 AM.
Serving in Vietnam, a grenade took my ability to see. I'm Michael Naranjo, and I'm a veteran. Today, I'm a sculptor. My fingers are my eyes.
DAV helps veterans like Michael get the benefits they've earned. They help more than 1 million veterans every year.
With DAV, more veterans can shape their lives into a thing of beauty. My victory is bringing beauty into the world.
Support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
A gentle breeze blows across your face as you take a refreshing sip of water, appreciating the stillness of another morning fishing on the lake. The distant gurgle of a stream reminds you of days spent playing in the creek, the cool, clear water rushing between your toes. You love this time with nature. The feeling of putting everything on hold.
The chance right in front, and he scores! Right on the assist from Julian Lutz, and the Roadrunners take a 3-1 lead.
And the Roadrunners won it 4-2 in their second game of the season to open up things in Colorado last weekend, coming home with a 1-1 record. Akurate had a couple of points on the trip there to go along with Andrew Agazino, who you heard there, Igor Sokolov, Artem Duda, and Milos Kelemen also with a pair of points to go along with Julian Lutz. So a lot of contributors to open up that first series in Colorado, and now Texas this weekend here, Saturday night and Sunday. And we're pleased to be joined by the team president for the Tucson Roadrunners, Bob Hoffman, and it's the Roadrunner Gala. Or we say Gala. Do you say Gala or Gala, Bob?
I say Gala.
You say you're a Gala guy.
Well,
All right, outstanding. So an evening event for this year. This looks like it's going to be a fun night here.
Yeah, we're looking forward to it. I mean, we wanted to try something a little bit different. Typically, this has been a face-off luncheon and done it midweek, to get our fans out to meet the roster, meet the players. And, one of the things when we do some of our surveying after some of the things we do from fans, there were some that couldn't make it. And they couldn't get the kids, without taking them out of a day of school and all those pieces to it. So we looked at it even last year and said, let's look forward to next year and think maybe this is an opportunity to do something a little different, do an evening, get dark outside, get ready for hockey that way. And that's what we're excited about. So same concept, great to have our fans be here and for them to be able to connect with our roster for the first time. For them, usually we do it the week of the home opener like this. So sometimes you have a couple of games under your belt, sometimes not, depending on if you start on the road or start at home. But, for our fans, we're excited to introduce this team to them and let them have some time to, mingle, get autographs, talk to our people. I know that's one of the things they talk about of this event is that they love that ability and the access to be able to connect. They'll find their favorite player for the season or learn some of the stories of some of our guys, where they came from, what their path was to get them to the professional ranks. So always a fun event. We're looking forward to it tonight.
Now, do you? How often do you go on the road? Did you go to Colorado last week? Or?
I did not, and I don't go much. Usually a trip or two a year, but then really, since 2020, I've stayed put and worried more about it's so with HLTV and the way we can track it from back here in Tucson. There's not really a need to do that, so I've haven't been out on a road trip really in a couple of years.
You had a watch party. Is that going to be kind of a continual thing this year?
Yep. We've got a really good partner with that, and Cold Beers and Cheeseburgers, and
great location.
Great location. It's great to watch games there and such good food. And our fans love getting out and cheering on the team. I mean, it wasn't a great game to cheer on last week, for the opener, but they enjoyed getting out and doing it. So yes, the next one of those, I'm blanking on the date exact, but it's the Wednesday, November game, the only game in November that's on a Wednesday on the road. So I believe it's the 13th. But we will check your calendar and check our website, and you'll be able to see some of those dates on there. But we'll be doing that regularly throughout the year.
American Hockey League, obviously, season underway now for teams all over the country. What's kind of the state of the league to start this 24-25 year?
Never been stronger. Never had better talent. It is absolutely. We've always bragged and said it's the second best league on the planet. There's no question about that now. The draft picks and the young talent that's being developed in the systems of all these teams are outstanding. And we see that each and every game that we play, each and every weekend, each and every night, and we're no different. The roster we have, the talent that we've got for the Roadrunners this year is certainly exciting, and to see these guys develop and get up into the big leagues, right? I mean, just even last night I was watching a game in the NHL with Calgary at home playing against Chicago, and their top line centerman for Calgary was Justin Kirkland, who spent last season with us, and it's developing guys like that and getting players up to that next level is what we're all about. Sometimes it's with our parent club, sometimes it's not. And we just like seeing them have that growth and get up to the National Hockey League. And as a league in general, the American Hockey League has never been any stronger.
And we've already got a roster move with the injury that was announced with the big club, and Patrick Koch is going up.
Yeah, that's great to see Pat get a chance to go up there. Had a really good camp. There was a shot he wasn't going to make it down to us even out of camp, and that they were going to hang on to him because they do have a few players banged up on the back end on the blue line. So for him to get assigned to us, play the first weekend, and then now go up, a great opportunity for him. Good to see that. We'll miss him for sure. But up there, obviously they'll miss Sean Dursey and the talent that they've got up there on their back end to get Patrick Koch in the lineup there and get him in there is going to be really fun to watch.
Yeah, we mentioned Sean Dursey out indefinitely with upper body injury after playing in the first 4 games, a 3-1 start for the big club. I'm sure there's got to be an excitement about that.
Oh yeah, I mean, you could see it. The talent was there. They went out and as a part of the long-term plan of Bill Armstrong and the draft picks that he made over the past 3 years to develop the talent, really utilizing us to a big extent to develop those young players. They go into this particular season with that chance that what they looked at was signing now some veterans and getting some guys that could come in from championship pedigree, getting players from Tampa Bay that have won cups and getting guys that were out there that are solid players at the National Hockey League level and kind of supplement them around that youth movement. And it has really generated a lot of fun. It's guys like Barrett Hayton, who spent 2 years with us, and Dylan Gunther, who was with us last year. Those are the top players right now and the top scorers for that club. And then certainly to see Josh Doan and Mike Carcone and other guys that have been through here contributing for them each and every night. It's fun to watch and to see really what we're all about in developing people and developing players. And that's really all the proof you need is to watch those teams play and to see from the Utah club right now and the big team to see all those ex-Roadrunners up there making a difference.
Chatting with Bob Hoffman, team president for the Tucson Roadrunners. Any surprises to you in this first week of the season? We were just talking at the top of the show. You got Vancouver and Colorado at the bottom, winless.
I think there's a lot of surprises out there. And not only winless, but not looking good. I mean, Colorado, they look like they don't have a goaltender that can stop anything right now. I mean, because they've got, as a team, they play about one of the best defensive systems that are out there. Tonight they get Boston, so it'll be really interesting because they could probably be 0-4 pretty easily if they don't get it fixed in net. And Georgiev's the guy that they've got in there right now, and I don't think it's going to be long till they're going to come looking down to the Colorado Eagles in our league to say, do you got somebody that can stop a puck? Because each and every night it seems like they're down 4-1, 3-0 in the first period, and you just can't dig out of those in the National Hockey League regardless of who you're playing because that's the other piece. They're 0-3 and really haven't played a great team as of yet. I mean, teams they should have beaten. But yeah, then Vancouver winless as well. It's been a struggle for sure to see. I think Utah's a really nice surprise at 3-1. Calgary, who went out and just kind of redid, and when watching them last night, and they redid most of their roster and got a lot of pieces from different places that you sit there and how's this going to fit? Off to a good start. And Edmonton figuring out a way last night late in the game to win their first game of the year.
Right.
So go to the Stanley Cup Finals last year and then lose your first 3 on home ice. Not exactly how they drew it up.
And obviously last night, kind of a bittersweet situation with the honoring in Columbus for the young man Johnny Gaudreau who lost his life over the summer. It's just a horrible situation, but just a great to see the way that they honored him, both teams and the fans of that game.
Yeah, that was tough to keep a dry eye there for sure, and such a sad story and what happened and what you saw there in the off season with the Gaudreau brothers and. To see Columbus honor him, the fans did such a nice job with that as well, and the league is doing some great things. The American Hockey League typically finds one cause throughout the year to put together a really good auction with game-worn jerseys from some of the stars from around the league, and that is the cause that we've selected as a league this year, is to help their foundation that they've put in place for the Gaudreau brothers. And it's certainly sad, and I know that he'll be missed all year long.
Now, did you go to the opener in Utah, or when will you get to your first game?
I'm looking at going up around Thanksgiving to get there to catch a game. It's on the 29th, I believe it is, the Friday after. It's a Black Friday. Looking to get up there for a game there. I'm excited to see the fan base, see what they do with that arena there, and watch our guys play up there, the Roadrunners that might be in the lineup.
Now, we at the top of the segment here, we heard the call from Jonathan Schaefer, who was here last year as working on your shows, kind of doing the in-between period interviews and whatnot, pre and post, and he is now elevated to being the play-by-play man for the club, with Adrian Denny moving up. Sad to see Adrian go. He's been a huge part of this organization for you guys.
In so many ways, and a lot of ways behind the scenes that people don't even know about. But the glue to so much of what we did, and obviously fun to listen to on air. Brought a lot of people that story of what the Roadrunners were doing out on the road, and told that story uniquely and very well, and we'll miss that piece. But for me personally, it's those behind the scenes and the day-to-day of dealing with Adrian and all the good things he did for this organization that'll be the most missed. But put that behind us and look ahead, and certainly excited for Johnny.
How big is your staff now?
We're up over 20 people right now, so we're as big as we have been since pre-COVID. So it's been great to kind of retool that and revamp that. Great talented people, a part of our marketing team, a part of our sales team. So, really that effort to be able to kind of retool it and get it back up and running to where we were pre-pandemic levels is exciting to do as well, and creates a ceiling that I hope is going to be one we can burst through this year with some great numbers and have some great crowds and support for this team.
So now what's your message to your staff as you guys get ready to open things up here at home?
Well, a lot of them are new, obviously, to the Roadrunners, so a lot of it is get ready, right? We're doing our best to get everyone as prepared as we can for that opener, but some of that, eyes, kind of the eyes wide open piece of it and that newness to it is kind of the fun of it too, because at the end of the day, we're a development league, and that doesn't just apply to players. That also applies to the staff and people that we're. A lot of the holes that we have in our staff is because people moved up and people moved on to higher levels. A couple of people going to the NHL, one to the NBA. So it's not just developing the players; it's developing the staff, which gives me pride just as much as the player side. But when that happens and the holes open, you got to jump in and you got to fill those.
There you go. Well, Bob, looking forward to an outstanding season here at the Tucson Arena. It starts Saturday night, and it's, like I said, it's a quick turnaround for the fellows. They're right back on the ice at 4 o'clock on Sunday for game number 2 of this homestand.
It's 4-game homestand to start, kind of start it off at least at home. It'll be a fun couple of weeks, and I'm excited. Texas is a good team, always a good rival to play against, and we want to get off to a good start in front of our home fans here.
There you go. Best of luck, Bob, as always.
Thanks, DK. Appreciate it.
Go Tribe.
Go get them, Guards.
Let's go. Let's beat those Yankees for sure. Another Cleveland guy in the house, Bob Hoffman. All right, cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s. We're going to wrap things up here with one more segment from Tucson Convention Center. It's the Roadrunners Gala here tonight. Come on out and get your ticket and talk to the guys and get this season off to the right start. Cricket, take it away on us.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. With collisions reported 12th in Valencia, some slowing on Valencia at 12th Avenue, Fort Lowell and Alvernon Way, also Sabino Canyon and Kolb Road. 89 and sunny tomorrow. For Friday, 80 is the high, windy, and a 20% chance of rain. It is 92 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio, 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Big O Tires. It's the Fall into Savings sale event at Big O Tires. Save between $80 and $120 on 4 select in-stock tires with installation purchase. Hurry, sale ends November 3rd. Savings vary by brand. See BigOTires.com for details. Big O Tires, the team you trust.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
My drains are clogged again. What should I do? Don't let those clogged drains scare you. Picturox Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing has a $79 drain and faucet diagnostic service special. We'll get you back in the flow. Call us at 520-492-0748 or picturoxcooling.com.
Side of the crease. Lutz with it now, throws it to Benny right in front. Benny in front of the doorstep and he scores! Roadrunners have the lead early.
And that is the golden tones of Jonathan Schaefer, the new play-by-play man for the Tucson Roadrunners. We had a chance to catch up with him yesterday, and it is our Desert Diamond Casino replay. We had a chance to ask him about the first weekend, which the club went 1-1 over in Colorado.
And now, the best thing you will hear all day.
Hachi-machi!
It's time for the Wildcat Radio Replay. In case you missed this earlier in the day, we now bring you the best of 1290. It's made possible by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
Yeah, it was a good opening weekend. Got to Colorado a little early just to, get the first trip out of the way and kind of start getting to know each other a bit more with all the hockey players and stuff and the coaching staff. So always nice first long road trip, and first game went like it went. It was a bit of a slower start for us, and Colorado's atmosphere and their crowd was really into the game. So it was a bit of a tougher start in the barn like they had, but I knew we weren't going to get swept, after losing game one. And game two, the offense got a lot of it together. There was a lot of penalties on our end, but we killed off a lot of penalties as well, going 12 for 14 on the week, or at least on the weekend. And penalty kill was up to par, and the power play had 4 goals over the weekend as well. And that's one of the aspects that the Roadrunners struggled with early on last year. So it's a really good sign to see what the power play has been able to do early on. And our new goaltender, Jackson Stauber, started the second game of the back-to-back, and he looked really good as well in net. And now him and Matthew Villalta are going to be a really strong crease together as the season goes on. And you'll take the 1-1 split in what opening weekend atmosphere was like in Colorado, who's also a really talented team in the Pacific Division.
Austin Poganski was named as the captain of the team. Was that any surprise? Was it anticipated that he would be the guy that would wear the C on his jersey?
Honestly, I wouldn't say it was a complete shocker, but the thing is, anyone on this team could easily be the captain. But I think what makes it so unique is the path that Austin Poganski has had in the last few years. He last played 2 years ago, played for the Coachella Valley Firebirds, went all the way to the Calder Cup final, played in every game there too, and then last year started on the PTO, and he wasn't even a starter when the year began. He sat a couple of games as a scratch, but once the Roadrunners started dealing with the call-ups and the injuries like every AHL team does, Austin Poganski was one of those underlier guys that stepped up, and he statistically had his best season, scoring the 14 goals, which was his career high, and then he started the playoff games as well. So wouldn't say it was a complete shocker, but just the journey he has had was quite a surprise to see that he's going to be leading this 24-25 team.
We're chatting with the new play-by-play man for the Tucson Roadrunners, Jonathan Schaefer. Jonathan, you mentioned the term in terms of Austin Poganski. You mentioned the term PTO. For folks that don't really know what that professional tryout situation is, how would you categorize how that works?
Yeah, so it's a professional tryout, and all leagues do it: NHL, AHL, and ECHL, and I'm sure some other leagues around the hockey world have that assessment as well, or maybe in different terms of it. But yeah, it's pretty much just a tryout for a player, and PTOs can last just a few games. It can last a few weeks or a couple months. It just depends how many games the player initially plays. But a PTO is it's literally trying out for a team. So the fact that Poganski was literally trying out for the Roadrunners last year, became an everyday player. He earned the AHL contract for the rest of the season. Then he signed an extension this past offseason. So to go from PTO, trying out for the team, and now becoming a captain is quite remarkable.
Chatting with Jonathan Schaefer, the new broadcaster for the Tucson Roadrunners, has been with the team. This is your third year total with the team now, is that correct?
Second year.
Second year. So last year was your first year. So when you found out you were going to be in the lead seat, what was that feeling like for you? Obviously apprenticing under Adrian Denny last year, and with Adrian getting the chance to go up and work with the big club, what was it like for you to find out that you were going to be the guy calling the games this year?
It was quite crazy. If I'm being honest, I had a hunch over the summer, just thinking like there's no way he's not going to try to go to the NHL with Utah because he's from Utah. He's from Salt Lake. So I had a hunch it could happen, but, I just wanted to keep focusing on the work I had to do at the time. And I didn't want to kind of distract me from the work I had to get done, from getting ready for the season. But ironically enough, it was September 25th, and it was the 1-year anniversary since I had joined the Roadrunners organization, or at least my first day. Walked into the office. Adrian asked me to just sit down with him. I thought we were just going to go over, the usual stuff we go through. He told me happy anniversary. I said, yeah, thanks. It's cool being here for a year. And then he just broke the news pretty bluntly, just saying I'm going to Utah. And obviously I had the question of what does that mean for me? Am I getting promoted to the play-by-play, or is it something that's going to happen down the line, and are we bringing someone else in? And that's when we had the discussion with our team president, Bob Hoffman, and yeah, they asked me to do it, and of course I said yes. And it's been a crazy few weeks just stepping into the main role, but it's been awesome. It's been really fun, and this is what I've always wanted to do as a kid, and it's pretty much like a dream come true. I didn't think I would ever be 23 years old, just less than 2 years out of college, and already play-by-play for an NHL or an AHL team. So I'm happy for it, and I have so many people to thank to get me here. Of course, Adrian being the top of the list of people to thank, because he set me up so well for this situation. And from what I know, it was always the plan for me to take over. We just didn't know when and where, of course. But it's the perfect situation for everybody. I'm just happy to be here, and it's going to be a really good team to call for, and I'm just super excited.
So how would you describe your broadcast style, Jonathan, and who some of your hockey influences have been?
Oh, man, that's a good question. I mean, my style is honestly pretty similar to Adrian's, just because I've heard him for, I heard him for 72 games, 72 plus games with playoffs last year. So I wanted to try to keep his style. And then Nick Nolenberger, my old boss when I was an intern with the San Jose Barracuda, I kind of liked his style too. And, I guess just from those two, just listening to those guys over the years in person, based off of people from TV or radio, I don't really have anyone in mind that I wouldn't say copy, but try to inspire from, I guess, when it comes to my style. And my style is going to come over time. I mean, I did do play-by-play in college, but it's, I haven't done it in a professional level as long as, I've done it in college. So I'm still finding my style, and, there's going to be some games where the style's working and then maybe some that are not, but I know I'll follow my groove eventually. I mean, I have 70 games now, hopefully plus playoffs, to get good at it. And, it's just like playing the sport. It takes repetition. It takes practice. It takes looking back at the film / listening to the audio of the games and determining what I can do better and, what I need to work on and not need to work on. So it's really similar aspect when it comes to that. And I know over time that I'll become really good, and eventually I'll sound like Adrian. So that's just kind of how I do it.
All right. So what was it that I didn't get a chance to hear? I'll have to go back and listen to the highlights to get your first AHL goal. Was it was it everything you thought it would be? Did you like the way the call came off for you?
Well, actually, last season I did do one play-by-play game.
Okay.
For the team. It was near the end of the season, but the play happened a bit too fast for me to determine who exactly scored. Again, first time doing play-by-play in almost a year, because I didn't do it at all for the Roadrunners, and it was, again, that was also kind of a short term, like, hey, you're taking over play-by-play for this one game while Adrian did TV. But this season, my first goal call for the regular season was pretty good. Beginning of the third period, we're about 40 seconds in Colorado. Eagles do this thing where all their fans stand up and start just cheering super loud, ringing their bells. Team was, I believe the Eagles were up 2-0 at the time, and we had started the period off with a power play, and Igor Sokolov just had a beautiful pass down the middle from Andrei Agostino, and he digged his way in and scored, and it just silenced the crowd, and you probably just only heard me screaming while we scored that goal. Because we ended up losing the game, but it split it up 2-1 at the time, and it was just one of those crowd silencers. So that was the first regulation goal call this year that I had that I was really happy for. And yeah, that's also the thing too. It's just trying to pick up on the game as it's moving quick, because hockey is probably the fastest sport out there, and I think it's probably the hardest to do play-by-play for.
That was the Wildcat Radio Replay with the best of the best from 1290. It's brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
J-Dub, let's hear that call again from that 3-1 game, the one goal that the Roadrunners scored on Friday night. Jonathan.
Yeah, DK, just give me 1 second.
Jonathan's first goal of the season as the lead broadcaster. As you mentioned, they were down 2-0 at the time in the third period, and they were able to get that goal. in order to get a little bit closer before losing that contest by a score of 3-1. I thought he set it up really nicely. Had a little bit of a breakaway with a nice pass to set up that goal. So we'll get that to you here.
Boy, this crowd is all on their feet right now. Bells are ringing, and a big chance there for Igor Sokolov right in front. He scores! Igor Sokolov! That's one. Need one more to go.
Igor Sokolov with the goal there. That was the lone goal in the 3-1 loss. But again, the club came back and won 4-2.
See, now, having grown up in Tucson, I would think both the speed and also the last names would make it difficult to do play-by-play.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no question about that.
Hockey, I think, is one of those sports that you almost need a phonetic dictionary every time.
You got to practice. You got to practice a whole lot before you get to game time. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Well, it's funny. Last week on the Arizona game, they were kind of talking about the same thing, how they had some of the names down for the Arizona Wildcats, but not all of the names down, and they were kind of joking about the ones they couldn't quite get right, that they need a little bit more practice on, especially nowadays in football. You've got so many players from different countries, and a lot of the Polynesian players with different names and pronunciations. You definitely have to know what you're saying. Just like yesterday, a couple of days ago, when I confused the coach, I called Kamuela Kayahue is his full name. I called him Cam for short, but most people call him Kamu for short. So there's a lot of different ways, a lot of different variations, and I think I confused the head coach. And I also I think I made Demetrius Freeney an NFL Hall of Famer today because I asked somebody about him, and I called him Dwight. The great defensive end from the
that's the problem when you have like a last name like Freeney, which is not
exactly.
common amongst NFL greats.
Right.
And so you get somebody else with the same last name, and your brain instantly thinks of the person.
I don't think I don't think there's a relation there between Demetrius Freeney and Dwight Freeney. But man, that would be pretty cool because Dwight Freeney was one of the best defensive ends to ever play the game. Demetrius Freeney, he's the transfer from the University of Miami. We'll hear a little bit about him as the week goes on because I would think that he played 20 snaps in that game last Saturday. He may be in line to get his first start depending on the health of Takario
Hopefully he's not
Davis.
doing 20 schnapps before his first start.
No, you don't want to do any schnapps.
No.
He'd be feeling really good.
That's a lot of schnapps.
He'd be feeling really good out there trying to guard Travis Hunter. All right, that is going to wrap up our show here from the Tucson Convention Center. We're getting set. We're going to hang out here for a little while and maybe talk to a couple of the fellows for the Road Runners, and we'll bring you those interviews coming up a little bit later in the week. It's the Road Runners Gala, and the festivities start at 6. They've got the music playing. I can smell the food. I might have to get me some of this food. That's for sure. Thanks to the team president for joining us, Bob Hoffman. We also appreciate Glenn Grabsky from the Tucson Convention Center for joining us here today, as well as Tony Daniel and Nicole Dallin from the University of Arizona. For J.W. Madden, for Cricket, for J. Dubs and Dragon Ball, my name is David Kelly. That's our time for tonight. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you tomorrow. We're going to be live at Illegal Pete's, 3 o'clock, Barrett on Friday. Have a great night, everybody. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
Right.
Collisions that are reported at Congress and Scott Avenue and Congress, 12th Avenue and Valencia and